Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the, just the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This week in Lititz, Pennsylvania, 2 sheltered kids find what they believe is love, leading to Shakespeare-level murder. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us on another crazy, wild edition of Small Town Murder.
Yes.
It's going to be crazy again this week. It is. And I understand in the beginning the pronunciation of this town. We'll you know what? Let's save it for a minute. We'll do house cleaning, then we'll get into this when we get into the town, because there's going to be a lot of jokes here.
Oh, good.
A lot of very immature jokes, and some of them will be funny, so stay tuned for that. Thank you, everybody, for everything this week. First of all, thank you to everybody in Nashville who came out to the live show where we closed out the comedy festival there. That was a blast.
It was unbelievable.
Really great. You guys were fun, and you guys waited around to hang out with us and meet us on a Sunday night, and that's awesome. Thank you guys for that.
A bunch of people traveled from their homes to visit this town together and share hotel rooms. And
dinner, a big group came. It was awesome. So it's great to see like you guys have built a community here.
Yeah.
And, that's just amazing. And thank you. And we're glad that we could I don't know, help coordinate that, I guess you could say, or whatever the hell we're doing. Facilitate
Give
would be a better word.
I don't know.
We didn't coordinate anything.
Yeah. We also didn't facilitate. We just gave an excuse.
Sort of facilitate. Facilitate could be anything. Okay. That's like conspiracy. Like you can help somebody without even knowing you're helping them in a conspiracy. It's just, one hand doesn't need to know what the other's doing as long as they're working toward the same goal, which is that. But contribute, you actually have to do something, which we've not done for them. But thank you guys for everything this week. Thank you for your reviews, your either iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever the hell that is, the purple icon. Thank you for those reviews. They really, really matter a lot. So if you have not done it yet, please get on there, Apple or iTunes or whatever the hell it is, and give us a review. It helps drive us up the charts. On a business level, it means the world. It doesn't matter what you say. Just 5 stars is good. You can say you're following instructions or directions. It doesn't really matter. It's not for our ego. We promise you it's just for business purposes to help people find the show more. Also, go to shutupandgivememurder.com, where there is a plethora of new things up and all sorts of cool merchandise you can get for small town murder and for crime and sports, which you should be listening to. And if you haven't listened to crime and sports, if you've been going, whatever, you've been on the fence, listen to the last 2. Let's first start with Mitch Green and then go to the next one, the Nile Ranger that we did last week. If Mitch Green doesn't hook you, then you won't like it. We'll put it that way. That's the one right there. It is insane, and everything that crime and sports is all about. Very little sports, tons of insane crime.
Especially if you've run out of this show. If you've got all these,
where you need to go
give that a shot.
I got
a message the other day about a girl who listened to this one like 3 times through, and then she decided to go try that, and she absolutely
we get that all the time. I don't know why I waited so long. I like it better than Small Town Murder. We get that a lot. So give it a shot. You'll enjoy it. You can do that all right from the site. Also, you can donate from the site, which is incredible if you want to do that. You want to be one of our producers who we're going to talk about at the end of the show. That is very easy to do right from shutupandgivememurder.com. You can follow links that take you to patreon.com/crimeandsports, or you can go over to PayPal and make a one-time donation using our email address, which is crimeandsports@gmail.com. And that said, I think we should just do the disclaimer and get right into this here, because it's been a crazy week, and we'll talk about that over the course of the show. We've had a crazy, crazy week, but this is a comedy podcast. We're comedians, so jokes are going to be made. It's going to happen. The cases are real. We promise you everything that we talk about is 100% real. We just make some jokes in there. We make jokes at the expense. You say, what's so funny about murder? We will tell you a lot of stuff. We make jokes about small towns because everyone's from a shitty small town, and you got to have a sense of humor about it. We make jokes about murderers, people that kind of deserve it. A bumbling police force that lets somebody go for 10 years without doing a good job. We'll make fun of them. We make fun of the surrounding things. It's fine. What we go out of our way to do, though, is we try not to make fun of the victims or the victims' families because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags. That's how that works. So if that sounds good to you, you're going to have a good time. We're going to have a blast right now because we got a crazy episode. If that does not sound good to you, if you think that true crime and comedy should never, ever go together just on principle, then you should probably turn this off now because you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it, and we don't want to hear you complain later on. We like to say, if you're in now, that's good. You're in the car. You're on the way to the liquor store. It's getting robbed. Liquor store's getting robbed. If someone should accidentally pull that trigger, you're just as responsible as we are. So
culpable, goddammit.
No complaining afterwards. So if everybody's on board now, it's time to shout it out. Out your car window, from the rooftop, stand on top of your cubicle. Well, not on top of the cubicle, on top of the desk. Inside the cubicle. And shout, shut up and give me murder. Let's do this. Let's go on a trip, Jimmy. What do you say? Not another one, right? We've had a rough week.
Let's just not fly.
Let's not fly. Well, it's far. We can't drive. We're going all the way to Pennsylvania. So we're not, that's
a distance.
It's a drive. It's definitely a drive. We're going to... It's Lititz, Pennsylvania, and I think it's Lititz, I think is how you tech, because it's a German thing, but it's Lititz.
Nope.
So it's Lil Tits.
It is.
It's Lil Tits, Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. Everyone, I'm sure, if it wasn't such an Amish area and heavily religious area, everybody would call it Lil Tits. It's, it would say it on the postcard from Lil Tits. That would be their thing, because they'd have nothing else. It's in southeastern Pennsylvania. Pretty rectangular state, not too much panhandle. Little couple of them in the east, a little jutting out there, but pretty rectangular. This is kind of right in the rectangle. It's about an hour and 45 minutes to Philadelphia, about 3 hours and 45 minutes to Pittsburgh, the other direction, and about an hour and 45 minutes to Sunbury, which was our last Pennsylvania episode.
Holy shit.
Episode 65.
That was a while ago.
Long ass time ago.
Almost a year ago.
It was 50 episodes ago. It was about a year ago. As long as 50. That's all right. 50th anniversary of the last 50th week anniversary. And Sunbury's about an hour 45 to the north of here. This is in Lancaster County, which if you've heard of Amish country, that's where it is. Lancaster County. This is Yeah, this is Amish country.
Is Lancaster, PA in Lancaster County?
It is in Lancaster County, absolutely. That's what they're talking about, Lancaster County. Okay. Zip code 17543.
Lancaster, PA is just the county?
There might be a town too, but they're talking about the area. But there's non-Amish. This is not an Amish murder. What we're talking about here today. This is a non-Amish murder.
But Lancaster is known for its Amish community.
It's known for its Amish. Yeah, that's where you go to Lancaster. It's kind of. People use that as a reference back east to, like, what are you, from Lancaster or something, if you're like behind a little bit. If you're behind 150 years or so.
That's fantastic.
Area code 717, not used by everyone in town, as we know of, because if some of them are Amish.
Some of them don't have that.
Not going to be concerned with the area code. Don't care.
Yeah.
Mottos here, and we'll see. I'll give you 3 mottos, and you tell me which 2 are real. We'll put it that way.
That'll be fun.
That's There's 3, 2 of them are real.
Okay.
One is the heart of Lancaster County.
Yeah.
The other is the coolest small town in America.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Lititz. It's not the size of the cup, but how well they stay up. No?
I'm going with the last one and the first one.
Those are the real ones, absolutely. No. The last one, of course, is what it should be.
They try to call this the coolest small town in America?
The coolest small town in America. What
does that even mean?
The most religious place I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Just shy of, like, Tel Aviv or Jerusalem or somewhere like that, as far as religion, high amount of people being religious goes. It's right there. It's close. It's like a holy land, this place.
But it's cool. It's so hip.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Lititz was founded by, or Lititz, whatever the hell. I'm calling it Little Tits.
Yeah.
Little Tits. And don't be ashamed of your little tits. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, little tits are great.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Little tits is a great...
They're fantastic. In any way. Whatever your little tits, big old tits, that town's a good one too. It doesn't matter. They're beautiful. Yeah. That's what we're saying.
They're amazing.
They're amazing, and we don't have them, so we're astounded and
sweet.
We stand in their glory.
Yeah.
So it's founded by members of the Moravian Church. Moravian Church in 1756. This is it's named after a castle which had the Czech name of Litice was how it was said, so it's somehow pronounced, I guess that's why I think it's Lititz. I'm pretty sure. It's like it's still 1756 in this town in a lot of ways here. That's why I'm laughing. It's I keep reading about the roots of the church in Germany, and I'm like, it's the same thing basically in this town. The name it's known, it comes from the original exiles who fled into Saxony in 1722 from Moravia to escape religious persecution, but then they ended up here eventually. Jesus Christ, I can't get into the story of the whole religious, why religions broke away from each other. Let's just start with why they're here. Okay, let's just do that here. They came here for missionary work to try to spread the religion everywhere and to escape persecution. They're big into personal piety and missions and music and that sort of thing, of a religious value. They're not like into hip hop, right? They're into they're not like
running around knocking on doors. Can I tell you about the new Run the Jewels album?
You need to know. Can I tell you about the first book of Nas, because I feel like it was written. You need to know. It's. Let me show you.
Let me introduce you to Scarface and the Ghetto Boy.
Let me show you the Ballad of Willie D. I think you need to see this.
Have you heard of Do or Die?
That would be amazing. That's what we should do, door to door.
Yeah,
that's our thing. Have you heard about Rakim? Let me tell you about him.
Did you know that Common used to be a rapper before he became an actor? Let me tell you a story.
Eric B. could be president at this point. That's the funny thing. Okay, that's a very old school.
That's a good reference.
I don't know that, but
that's a deep cut.
If you know that one, that's a good reference. So anyway, so for over a century, when they first got here in the mid-1700s, only these Moravians were permitted to live in this town.
Oh.
They were the only people allowed to live here.
That seems racist.
It's just That's what I mean. This town is so strange. It has a very strange history.
They're trying to create like a Shangri-La of religion for them.
Yeah, they're like, this is our little tent, and we're going to keep everybody else out. Only members of the congregation were allowed to own houses, which is until the mid 1800s, like right before the Civil War, this was abolished. So, Jesus. I mean, this is you could never mind what race you were if you weren't in their congregation, you couldn't own a fucking house. It didn't matter. Yeah, it's super weird. This went on until 1855. That's when they finally abolished what they called the lease system, which is the only way you could live there is if a congregation member would lease you
their house,
their property, because you weren't allowed to own shit. Yeah, so it was that way they could decide who came in and who came out.
Okay.
Otherwise people could just buy shit. Mm-hmm. That goes.
Normal society.
Like society, like America. Yeah. You know how that works. This was 5 years before the start of the Civil War. So this is fucking Amish country. This is is near here. Mm-hmm. So it's everybody's very nice. Yeah. Everybody's very slow, and everybody's very family oriented, religious, and God fearing, and that sort of thing here. Now during the American Revolution, they used a big house here as a hospital. A bunch of soldiers were buried there. This town is also home to Linden Hall School, which is the oldest all-girls boarding school in the United States.
Oh, gross! So
it is the oldest school where you send girls to learn how to finger themselves. I don't know what the hell. Well, what girls do at an all boarding school. I just thought that was weird because as I was processing that, I thought, what would guys do? Yeah. And I would think they learn how to jerk off there. Yeah. So I was like, I guess learn how to fucking diddle themselves. I have no idea. Yeah. So I apologize for the crassness of that. But honestly, that's what boys would be learning to do.
Probably what they do too.
I would assume. That's the age you're going to figure it out. I assume. So, the oldest one of these diddle factories though in the United States.
Self-diddling factories.
I was going to say auto diddle auto diddle factories, we'll say. There's no one is. They might be. Who knows? We don't know what's going on there.
I'm not co-signing for this place.
At least it's an auto. It's whatever. So anyway, it's Jesus Christ. It's founded. That school is adjacent to a church that's on 47 acres of land.
Hell yeah.
This school was founded in 1746. So that is an old goddamn school. It was a decade before the borough was incorporated.
And it exists today still?
I believe so, yeah.
Wow.
Ben Franklin enabled the village to honor its pacifist convictions because the Amish don't fight.
Right.
That's some shit. If there's a war, they get conscientious objector status. You don't, there was no guys running around fucking Vietnam with a blocked hat and
a jawline beard.
And a jawline beard. That didn't happen. Going around going, I got to cobble these shoes. This weapon's a little too modern for my liking. Do you have a musket? That wasn't.
Have you got a knife, sir?
Yeah, that wasn't working. So, they did not have to, they didn't have to fight. Declaration of Congress allowed them to continue their ban against bearing arms because they don't believe in that at all. The town did not, of course, the war was there. Like I said, they had a ton of soldiers that died in a hospital there. The Linden Hall Seminary for girls there, that was established before the signing of the Declaration of Independence. That's crazy, and it's still in existence now. The first recorded Independence Day here, July 4th, if you're not from the United States, we celebrate that. If you're from Britain, sorry. The first one was in 1811, and the religious people did not like it.
Why?
They were pissed that this was happening in their town because they said that it was, they called it, quote, merrymaking, which is not okay.
You will not be happy.
Do not feel joy.
How dare you enjoy yourself?
Unless it's toward the Lord. Right. Then you can feel joy. But that's like, if you're celebrating the flag, that's like, you're not celebrating the Lord. At that point, you take that joy and put it into the wave a page of the Bible off the pole and fucking salute that and celebrate it.
Rotate it every day.
Put a psalm up there. Do that sort of thing. What are we thinking here? Get your shit together, people. Good God. So a little more reverence for the baby Jesus, as Trudy in Reno 911 would say.
Did she say that?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
They were trying to get these prisoners to sing. And
Yeah.
a little less attitude, a little more reverence for the baby Jesus. Let's go.
Trudy was the skinny high voice chick with the dark short hair?
Dark short hair, yeah. What is her name? I cannot remember.
She's amazing.
Amazingly
Legit
talented and funny.
hilarious
It's
woman.
just completely run away from me now for some reason. Wendy,
I don't know.
God damn it. She's great.
Yeah.
Trudy on Reno 911. Amazing actress. Really good. So, it wasn't until 1818 that it finally had a community-wide observance of Independence Day. When finally they said, I guess it's all right. People were still going to church on Sunday if they had fireworks and liked the flag on Saturday, so I guess. All right, fine. All right, light the grill. Put the dogs on. It's fine.
I wonder if that particular one landed on a Sunday and they were just all joyous and in a great mood. And then they went outside and they were like, look at this celebration for the Lord. We are going to do this every 4th. The celebration for the Lord is beautiful.
Hey, what the fuck?
Did you just light fireworks for Jesus?
There's no fucking there's no cross on the flag, man. Fuck that. Put a cross on that flag. I think that's what it was, probably. Yeah. So they also tourists and residents here. They also have the Queen of the Candles pageant.
Yeah.
And fireworks display there.
Queen of the Candles.
Yeah, they have they decorate all this shit. There's wooden beams and trestles all over the place, and the trestles are fitted with sockets for candles, and then they have music and shit like that. And the first candle is lit by the year's Queen of the Candles pageant winner.
Yeah.
Oh boy, the Queen of the Candles. And then they have all sorts of shit.
They drill candles into wood and
no, they have metal.
Fire.
They have they're like metal and stone with I think metal sockets. I think candle holder.
I hope
sockets.
so.
And, yeah, I don't know.
You're putting fucking fire into wood.
It's wet.
Don't you know any history of this country?
Yeah, it's all moist.
I'm an idiot, and I know some.
It's Arizona though. Here everything sets on fire. There you really gotta put some effort in to set something on fire back east. It's hard. Everything's moist. Nothing wants to. It's all moldy and shit. Ever been to Pennsylvania? You've been to Philly. Everything's moldy.
Yeah, I guess.
No offense, we love Philly, but it's fucking moldy. Yeah, it's a moist city.
Yeah.
You guys are there's moisture shooting from the ground at all times. Just a puff of moisture will come out of the street. Jesus Christ.
The fuck did that come from? The earth has had enough.
Extra moisture. Philly's got too much.
The earth is expelling it.
Sorry. So yeah, during they had a 250th anniversary in 2006 of the anniversary of the naming of the town, where they all sat around in shame and said, "We named our town Little Tits." Is this what we're celebrating?
We're keeping it another year?
Fuck it. 250 more years of Little Tits. We've been getting a very specific type of guy coming here. It's getting creepy. That's all I'm saying. They said, "Where's the Asian section of town?" I'm like, chill the fuck out, dude. You fat blonde motherfucker. Chill out.
Lots of guys in pleated boner hiders.
Yeah, my God. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so they have a sister city. I couldn't make this up.
Again?
Lititz has a sister city in the Czech Republic called Kunvald, which sounds... I can't make that up.
Little tits and bald cunt. This is great.
Cuntbald. I can't make up Little Tits and Cuntbald. I can't. I'm sorry, but Jesus Christ.
Oh boy, she sounds hot.
That's why weird guys looking up. Was there Asian chicks? I heard there's Asian chicks.
It's funny they call it a
hairless with the tits.
Yeah, it's a sister city. That one's bald and that one's got little tits.
When I saw that, I said no. I debated whether or not to put it in there. I'm like, because we're too immature to handle this information. I know we are. I know we can't handle this as adult men. I'm positive.
That is fantastic.
So yeah, that happened during the 250th anniversary. So we got to keep the name now. We're hooking up with Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that is amazing. Now, 2013, Lil Tits was announced as the winner of Budget Travel's, quote, America's Coolest Small Towns competition among 15 other finalists.
Voted by frat boys everywhere.
Voted by 7 Amish guys on a panel. Yep, it's definitely the coolest.
Definitely the coolest named, that's for sure.
Yeah, we got that. Boom. Either 7 Amish guys and 7 frat boys together. The only thing they could agree on is they love this town. The Amish don't understand why the frat boys love it so much. The frat boys are just giggling the whole time. Yeah, no, that's the coolest, man. Except for Cuntvald, that's the fucking coolest. That's not in the running? Cool, we'll take Lititz then. Is there a big old rack in the... No, just Lititz? All right, we'll take it. Wow. So, coolest town. Coolest small town in North America. Come on, man. How can we resist this?
Is there a town called Backbox anywhere? Is there anywhere like that?
There is. I'm into it.
Holy hell.
It's going to be a tight squeeze to get us all into that town, but we'll give it a shot. All right. Enough of it. Yeah, that's what I mean. I couldn't stop this. People in this town, 9,269 embarrassed patrons trying to hide the name of their town. It's up 12% since 1990. Okay. I don't know why. Median age here is 46.1. It's about about 10 years older than the average in the U.S. And you're going to get kind of more of not a lot of like young people moving here to party. You know what I mean? It's more of a settled population. They're pretty settled. I mean, they get there and they're like, whoa, little, what?
Where is she?
Hey, it's all churches, bro. Did you see? Fuck, dude. It's all churches.
Can't even see how big they are. Did you see the dresses on these women?
You're not even allowed to drive on half the roads because there's fucking horses and shit and buggies and dudes with I don't know what's happening. God damn it.
Ridiculous.
Everyone's wearing wool, head to toe. Head to fucking black wool, bro. I can't see shit. I asked them if they shave. They said, I don't know. I went by the sister. I don't know. So female population is much higher than male here. It's almost 57% female, which is extremely high, and I can't imagine to put a Y on that. It's just, that's the way it is. Male population, like I said, about 43%, way low. Married population is about 58%, which is higher than the 50-50 average. Not a lot of single with no children people here, and the people who are single with no children are young, pretty much, or like, not of
their children.
They're looking to court someone right now and be married. I feel like a lot of these people here. The race of this town, shockingly, you'd imagine. I know all of you and all the footage have seen tons of black Amish people, but there's really not a lot.
I'd love to see one, though.
That would be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
If you have evidence of a black Amish person, please send it to us. Because
wooden hammer.
I would fucking love to see that. That would be awesome. You don't see black guys with the Amish beard very often either, which is something.
But they can grow that.
Oh, fuck yeah, they grow a good one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. You could
like James Harden for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
That's
I was going to go with a Frederick Douglass, but if you want to.
Who the fuck is that? Oh, in history. That guy. Got it. I'm like, is that guy?
I gotta put my head right now.
In my head, I'm trying to figure out which show that guy's on.
He's on a real bit. Never mind. Yeah, okay.
That was fun.
Okay. I don't have time to explain Frederick Douglass here today. Look him up. If you don't know, please look him up.
Long since dead.
0.86% black. So that's, to be less than 2 hours outside of Philadelphia and have less than 1% black, that's pretty aggressive. It's an aggressive purging, I feel like. 1.68% Asian. So there's a couple guys, that are coming around and go, less than 2%. It's expecting much more. It's 3.53% Hispanic. So it's fucking white. About 50-50 on the religion. It's average. So the people who are religious are fucking religious.
Super religious.
And the people who aren't religious are probably really not wanting anything to do with that shit because they're tired of hearing about it.
They're doing it on purpose. If they're holding out this long in this town, you're never converting those people.
That's the highest amount of people are 21% are other Christian, which I would assume is your old timey, your old timies here. 0.3% Jewish here and 0.2% Muslim here. So 37% of the people in the county voted Democrat in the last election, 56% Republican, about 6.5% Independent. That's your Amish vote. They voted for Silas, who's just some guy who helped all of them put up a barn one time, and they're very thankful to him.
They all voted for the barn.
Yeah, voted for Jedediah. He's the best barn raiser in town. It's the guy. Unemployment rate is less than the average, actually. It's about 3.5% here right now.
We all goddamn work.
Super. I was going to say, you could just go graze a barn. There's plenty of work to be had here. The household income is a little higher, too. It's a little more of a, it's a rural area, so there's land. People have a little more money. Median household income is $58,375. It's about 1,000 more than normal, but not too shabby. Manufacturing jobs, there's about twice as many of those as normal here. So you're going to get a lot of that. I don't know if that's Amish things. Yeah, they're building shit. They're good at building shit. Yeah, good at building shit. Retail trade's a little high because there's some tourists that come in this area. Healthcare and social assistance is also a little bit high in this area, but otherwise jobs are pretty normal. Cost of living, normally it's about 100. That's average and par. Here it's 103. Okay. So pretty close to normal. Housing, median home cost is $185,600. So right around the national average. Real close. It's very much in terms of all the economic things, like your average kind of standard American small town, like that we usually talk about. Most of the houses, about 60% of the houses are between 75% of the houses are between $100,000 and $300,000.
Okay.
So that's your wheelhouse. 60% are between $100,000 and $200,000. Okay. So very much kind of your average kind of deal here. And if we've convinced you that you need to go to Lititz, we have for you the Lititz, Pennsylvania Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here goes for about $1,075, which is lower than the national average a little bit, but it's pretty close to it. I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,296 square foot house. It's brick. Yeah. Nice. It's old, though. It needs some work on the inside. It's very much kind of 70s, kind of out of date here. Yeah. But $157,000. Okay. Not bad. That's good bones and everything like that. I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,924 square foot house. Very nice. You can move right in and live there. $279,900, which, a little high, but not terrible. The national average is $215. So,
and close enough to a city to commute.
Yeah, and it's 3,000 square feet. So it's a big house. And I found finally you want to relax here. You've done well selling your Amish wares. 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 4,058 square feet. It is. This is new construction. So this is kind of the opposite of the other two. This is a brand new shiny house here, no history. $799,900. Wow. For this bad boy. So, to
live in Lititz.
Damn
near $1 million.
$1 million for Lititz. $800,000. Things to do in Lititz is the 2019 Lititz Fire and Ice Festival. Yeah. Here. They call it a small town with a big agenda of community events. Ooh. Restaurants, shopping, lodging, and more. Yeah. I don't know what else more there is. That's
to know.
Yeah. They had, the event is free. Just took place. There's a chili cook-off Saturday. There is a fee for that. God, they want to go around and eat your chili. You're not going to just stick your spoon in people's shit and not be charged for that. Who the fuck you think you are? Kind of an asshole here. But yeah, they're going to have that. They're going to have live ice sculpting also there.
I've always wanted to watch that, actually.
Some crazy person with a chainsaw just going to town on an ice block. That looks so, A, fun, and B, hard at the same time.
That's what I mean.
I'm impressed by it.
It's super fascinating because you've got to have a lot of wherewithal of how to get something specific out. You know what I mean? Because they're 3D.
You got to be an artist.
Got to come out of the ice.
There's got to be some art to that. You can't just be some schmuck lumberjack with that's good with a chainsaw. You have to know what you're doing. Last year, 40,000 people showed up for it. So it's a big deal there.
That ice sculpting will draw a crowd.
Fuck yeah. Crime rate in this town, what we're interested in here. Property crime is about 1/3 the national average. So as you'd expect, it's kind of there's not a lot of thieving going on in this town. And violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and of course assault, the Mount Rushmore of violent crime, is less than half the national average. Damn near 1/3 of that too. So it's just low. I mean, this is a town with a lot, half the population is devoutly religious and just kind of has that kind of vibe. It's a family kind of a place. There's not a lot of craziness going on in this town. Put it that way. Sounds like a boring ass place to be a kid.
Sounds great.
It sounds fucking terrible. Like as a teenager, I would have lost
terrible
my motherfucking mind.
As an 8-year-old, amazing.
Oh, as an 8-year-old, amazing, and probably as like a 48-year-old, pretty great. If you're
28,
a little lame.
18.
If you're 18, 28, anywhere in there, 16, 14, 12, 13, 31, 41, anywhere in there, you're really upset. But the rest, old and young, boy, top notch. So this story is kind of about a couple it is about a couple teenagers in this town too, living in this town. This story has an Adnani kind of a thing to it, except if the story went a completely different direction. Like it's the same up to it's kind of the star-crossed lovers type of thing of not allowed to see each other.
Parallel at the beginning,
parallel all that, and then it just branches off, ends up in violence, just completely different way of all of that.
Right.
It's modern day fucking Shakespeare is what this is. Let's start off. Let's talk about Michael Borden.
Yeah.
Okay. Michael Borden is a guy. He lives in this town. He ends up working as a scientific publisher, whatever the fuck that is, in Ephrata, Pennsylvania. Now he is an elder at the church. He's not Amish. It's another deal here. It's kind of a Christian fundamentalist. These people are all
other Christian.
This is what they're talking about with other Christian. These people are like the guy's brother calls it a Christian fundamentalist group here, and not like a cult or anything, but like I don't know. I guess you could call anything a cult if it depends on your point of view. Really, anything could be a fucking. This is a cult. Really, the show. If you looked at it the right way,
we all do the same thing together. Damn it!
So we all do the same thing.
Say this show is a cult.
This show is a cult if you look at it the right way.
You're all doing the same thing.
Yeah, I guess that's a cult. Anything's a cult at that point. So, but I mean, this isn't considered like this isn't Heaven's Gate or some shit. You know what I mean?
Sacrificing people.
No, this is just people that are nice and kind of just are Christian. Yeah, and talk about Jesus a whole lot.
Okay,
whatever.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well.
Right.
And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, it's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back.
Do it.
That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your
all different.
multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure, yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Just the word fundamentalist.
Well, you hear that,
tends to really lean towards the what the fuck.
Because when you hear the word fundamentalist, you automatically think goes without logic and just goes to the. It's a kind of a whole cloth belief system. Anything fundamentalist like that, rather than any kind of parsing of like your adult, your adult intelligence, where you kind of you sift out the shit where you're like, okay, yeah, that's crazy, obviously, and this is, I guess I like that, and
word
they don't do that.
Fundamentalist to me means there's Jesus, but we all fuck each other's wives.
Yeah, while talking about Jesus,
and then
we find a psalm that justifies this,
and every now and again we make an exception and fuck somebody's daughter if she's 15 if she's hot as shit.
Well, we will marry her afterwards. She will become one of our wives afterward. One of our many wives. One of our many wives. So that's not how this particular people there are not like that, but that's what you think in your head automatically.
When I hear the word fundamentalist, I think, what wacky shit are these people
It's true. It's true, because whenever trouble is caused by a religion of any kind, it's always a fundamentalist sect. It's never like, they're sort of religious, they're a little they're iffy about it, but they blew up a building because of it. Like, that doesn't happen. You have to be seriously into that shit.
It's never just the Methodists.
It's never just, a group of slightly interested Lutherans. That's not usually how it works. Or a group of, partially observant Muslims. That's not usually the group. It's, you got to be hardcore into whatever you're doing of anything. And that makes you, because usually just if you're hardcore into anything, including a religion or anything, that makes you kind of more likely to be not crazy, but more likely
hyper focused on that specific thing. Causes
and not
problems.
Tunnel vision is what I'm thinking of, and not seeing any outside
and it's not
options.
It's not even that the religion.
This isn't against religion.
No,
although I am against religion. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not.
It's not specifically the religion's fault. It's
not
just
in this story.
The group of people.
It works for some people. I'll get that.
Absolutely, but the group of people involved in whatever organization this is, not this, but in any cult-like fundamentalist
when we talk about
group,
a cult group, which this is not, to be specific.
Everybody just pushes towards this one idea, but, everybody gets their dick sucked, though.
Well, that's usually part of it. If there's a leader, at least he's getting it sucked.
By everybody.
That's the thing. All involved. All hands on deck here.
That's how it works.
Mouths in this case.
All mouths on deck.
Yeah. So with Michael Borden here, he's going to be the patriarch of a family here, and we'll talk about him. He's it's at the Plymouth Brethren Church. That's the church they go to in Lititz here. He's the Evangelical Plymouth Brethren Church. He's a Sunday school teacher there. Very popular guy, real known, respected guy within his religious community and by his community in general. He is a native of Hannibal, Missouri. He was vice president of the Cadmus Communications Corps, Science Press Division there. And neither do I. I have no idea what this man does. It's something that you seem to have to be smarter than we are to do. So I'm not sure. His wife here, Kathy, she will turn out to be, she's a teacher. She teaches, later on, she'll teach like homeschooled kids.
Great.
And she's a homemaker and all that sort of thing. We'll talk about that. But, Michael grew up very Catholic, actually. He grew up Catholic with 5 siblings, that whole thing, big Catholic family in Missouri. He's like, his brother says that, they grew up with kind of had an idyllic childhood in the 50s in a small town, where he's from in Missouri. Hannibal, Missouri is the Mark Twain
Oh, that Missouri.
It's that Hannibal, Missouri. Okay. So this is like based on the Mark Twain stories. Gotcha. It's like where fucking Huck Finn's from and shit. Like
torn up jeans and bare feet.
Yeah, this is a small town America, USA. He's from. So they grew up with a bunch of siblings. The father was a middle management in a cement factory. You know what I mean? So kind of very middle class type of thing. 3 boys and 3 girls. Like this is as like small town America. Fathers are middle, not in charge. He's not the boss, but he's he's
working on it.
But he's working on it. He's working his way up the cement factory ladder. Yeah, to support his 3 kids. It's very small town America, 50s type of thing here, Americana type of bullshit.
American dream.
Yeah, at least in the 50s. You see this in black and white. We'll put it that way because it's sort of real. Because at home, somebody was drinking and beating somebody, and there was other shit behind the scenes. But from the outside, it's a sitcom. This guy's going to trip over the ottoman on the way in the living room and pop up. Everyone's going to giggle and then eat dinner.
And then his name comes across the screen.
Absolutely. So, they rented their home, though. They never had enough money to own their home, but they had their shit together, basically. They would move up from better place to better home to better home. They were always renting, but they were always moving up from better to better. Their grandparents had a small farm in the country where they would go on the weekends and go in the summers and all that sort of thing. So this is extremely like kind of old timey, just very, very like fiction, almost fictional nostalgia, basically. But it kind of was actually how they grew up. They fished in the Mississippi River. They were basically Huck Finn and Mark Twain, these two running around.
Sounds great.
Yeah, that's how they felt too. Then they read the books. They felt like, hey, this is us, they went to Catholic school and all that sort of thing. Michael ended up putting himself through college, even put himself through Northeast Missouri State University, which is Truman State now, actually, was that. He graduates in 1977. He's the first member of his family to get a degree from college. And he put himself through school because they didn't have enough money to just send their kids to school. He studied to be an architect, but then he went into graphic design and did that sort of thing. So what he ends up, it's a printing thing that he's doing, like a design and print thing. I know that much. He ends up moving down to Mississippi where his brother lived after he finishes college, and he works for a publishing agent down there, big publishing firm, not a publishing agent, and he marries his high school sweetheart, Kathy. So he marries her. They settle down to raise a family. It's right around this time that he leaves the Catholic Church. Yeah. And his brother said there was never a reason. Like, he was never like, goddamn, it wasn't like he said, the priests are fucking kids, I'm leaving the church. Like, there was no, like, declaration of, I am leaving. It wasn't like my grandmother when she left the church. Italian grandma, in case you don't know, because I said it like 100 episodes ago. But she used to be, pretty Catholic and go to church all the time, and then she ended up getting a divorce from my natural grandfather, who was a drunk and would beat the shit out of her and stuff. So she got a divorce from him and was marrying another guy who was a nice man, treated her very well, was willing to take in her 3 daughters and all this type of shit. And the priest said, no, you can't do that. You can't get married. Again, that's against the it's against the church. And she said, what are you talking about? And he said, but I got a nice man, all this. And the priest said, well, you should just live together then. And she said, isn't that worse? She goes, well, he goes, yeah, but I can't sanction that. So my grandmother told the priest to go fuck himself and never went back. I should live with him, outside of this and blah, 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 but I can't be honest woman with blah, blah, blah. Go fuck yourself in Italian. She left. So, yeah, I think he did this, but there was never any of this from this guy.
I hope he didn't speak Italian.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure she...
He did the sign of the cross and turned his back on her.
Yeah, actually, he probably said, schifos, get the fuck out of here. Putan. It's probably what he said if he was a fucking Italian priest.
Yeah.
Bring your son in here. I'm not interested. Yeah. That's right. So, anyway, he said that he became a member of a Christian fundamentalist church, but Michael never tried to convert his brother. Said he never came at me with a pamphlet or never was like, hey, you should join this shit. He just kind of did it his own way. That's what his brother said, quote, Mike was always smart and bookish, very serious and industrious, you could say. He was never really what you would call one of the boys. He wasn't much into sports and hanging out and watching TV and drinking beer. It wasn't like he wasn't social, because he was, and he liked good company as well as anyone. It was just that he was a little more focused and straight. He's just kind of a real straight-laced kind of a guy. They said his wife, Kathy, was his brother, Stephen, Michael's brother, Stephen, said that she was, quote, the sweetest person you could ever meet. Just all about her family and her children and dedicated to all that. And that's all she was about. They had kids pretty quickly. They have, right away after they get married, they have a couple of sons named Justin and James. And then, later on, they wait a while. They have 2 kids and then wait a while and have 3 more. Okay. They have Caitlin, they have Kara, and they have David. Okay. That's the progression of children here. Now,
poor David's the outcast. Everybody, Justin and James, they are
matching
names,
and they're like 15 years older than him too. So he's younger than his sisters, who are close in age, and he's a few years younger than them. So you have like 2 older boys, the 2 middle girls, and then this young kid is by himself. Yeah, that sucks if you're David. Yeah,
that's the worst.
No one wants to hang out with you.
Dimitri or some shit like that.
No.
Everybody else.
No David and Duncan. Nothing.
God damn it.
Nothing there. He ends up taking another job. Michael does at a rival printing place. There, I guess he's good at his job. So they end up moving to North Carolina.
All right.
There, he talks about he ends up doing a little side company of his own for a little bit, but ends up staying with the company that he's with. And I guess this was the time, his brother said, when digital printing was really kind of a new thing, and he didn't want to put all the money it would take to put the equipment in for all this type of thing. He didn't have the initial investment to really go into business for himself. So he stayed there. His brother said, quote, he was just not ready to take such a big step. He had job security and a good salary right where he was. Mike had a family to think of. So he was he was ambitious, but he also thought about, hey, I need to put food on the table type of thing. So he's very much feet on the ground type of guy. Yeah. I mean, I guess he's got his head in the clouds or the heavens, I guess, but he's also feet firmly on the ground. So he ends up moved to Lititz here to southeastern Pennsylvania. He moved his family. It was hard because they were trying to sell a house there while
North Carolina?
Yeah, while he was working. So he was going back and forth trying to like find a place to live for the family while trying to sell a house and work at a new job in a city that's not driving distance really. Yeah. So it's like, that's a drive from, basically Philadelphia to Charlotte. It's not that's not a 2-hour trip. You can make 3 times a week there. It was just very tough on him there. So they end up finding a house finally. They don't live technically in Lititz. They live in Warwick Township, which is just an outside place, but it's right by Lititz, and Lititz is the center of everything that happens here. And it's called Lititz, so we're not going to do Warwick Township if Lititz is involved. So they move into a brand new home. He's doing well at his job, and they move into a big, nice home in the spring of 1997 in Warwick Township, right outside Lititz. Oh, yeah. So, right down there. And it's
right in the cleavage.
Right, heading south, So anyway, people said that Michael at work was very much studious about work, didn't talk about outside work, didn't talk about private life, didn't hang out with the people in the office, didn't do any of that shit, didn't do the happy hour. Hey, we're all going out tonight. Mike is like, nope, gotta see you later. Dinner's on the table at 6:00. I gotta go. Not interested.
I live alone and I still use that excuse.
Yeah, dinner's sorry, I got
fucking hang out with these people.
A lot going on. Yeah, I do not understand the work socializing. I don't get it. You spend fucking 40 plus hours a week with these people doing something horrible, and then you want to hang out with them and drink.
Something you don't want to do?
Yeah. You're going to hang out. What are you going to talk about? Guess what? Same shit you've been doing all fucking day. You want to do that? I want to get as far away. When I had a day job, I want to get as far away from those fucking people and not think about them, hear from them. Yeah. I don't want to know anything about them outside of work.
I know guys that I don't work with that are unbelievable dudes, and I will hang out with them that do not work and do the same thing I do.
No, that's better.
I can hang out with those guys.
You can have, but people from your job. 5 o'clock hits. If someone says a word to me, I'm like, I don't know you. I do not know you.
They're not paying me to talk to you anymore.
Sorry, fuck you. I'm out. I swear to God, I was the worst person to fucking work with like that. I don't care. I don't want to know you. No, I'm not going to the barbecue this weekend. Eat a dick. I'll be away. What am I going to be doing? Not thinking, staying away from you, thinking about how I don't have to talk to you and enjoying that, reveling in it, you fucking moron.
I'm going to drink about this. That's what I'm going to be doing.
It's going to be great.
I'm going to drink about how much I don't want to go back to work on Monday and see you again. That's what I'm going to do.
Can't wait. Jesus Christ. A woman named Catherine Hart, who worked with Michael Borden, said, quote, Mr. Borden was very private about his personal life. We knew very little of his life outside the walls of the company, except that he had a number of children, that his wife didn't work, and that she homeschooled the kids. Mr. Borden rarely socialized or took part in company social functions. Like when people do those team building, we're going to go team building camping trip. Team building is time away from you. That makes me more likely to want to be in the same fucking room with you. If I have to share a fucking tent with you after I had to watch you eat your goddamn lunch every fucking day for the last 6 months, I will strangle you, leave you in the woods, and blame it on a wild animal. I swear to Christ, I'm not doing it. Fuck that.
And camping trip? That's a thing?
You're dying in the woods. They go out and do that.
No,
I will fucking murder you.
Never.
I'll come back alone and go, I don't know. I woke up and they were all gone. I think animals got them.
I woke up, there was blood everywhere. I had to get home.
I zipped my tent up super tight, so I guess that's why they didn't get me. I don't know what the fuck happened. No, not happening. That's how that
zip tied the 2 zippers shut.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Everybody said that he was super religious at work, because when he first got there, he asked a bunch of different people at work about churches in the area, because he didn't know. So he was like, are there any, do you know? And he was kind of probably feeling around too to see if anybody attended the church that he wanted to go to, if he could kind of find an in that way. But nobody at work really was into that.
Some guys do that just to get that strange in the office.
That's true too. Yeah. They're like, anything about church? Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Maybe you could talk to me about it. Assholes.
Want to go get a drink after this and talk about that church?
Talk about church? Let's get a drink and talk about Jesus. What do you say? All right, wine. Fine. Whatever. It's fine. Whatever you want.
He tolerates that.
Yeah. He ends up choosing the Monterey Bible Chapel. It's a Christian fundamentalist congregation, basically. Everybody says like the women sit separate from the men at the church services. It's that sort of thing. It's very fundamentalist, but they're not. It's weird because they don't seem like from the outside you'd see that and think that was kind of odd, which it sort of is. I would say bizarre. It's a little bizarre, and whatever your beliefs are, but that's just strange from a societal point of view. Right. Well, separate society and church outside the doors and inside the doors, and if you look in the doors, you go, that's fucking weird. Maybe if you're in there, it's fine, but from the outside, a little strange.
That always fascinates me about anything with religion, where they're like, we just have to separate the sexes. How fucking dangerous are you that you're only pushing that on us because you're afraid of what you would do with the other sex?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not doing that, bro.
That's what I mean.
I can hang out in the same room with a woman.
Those are your thoughts.
Not try to fuck her.
Those are your thoughts. Although, and let's be realistic, they are going to fuck.
Yeah.
Whether you mix them, separate them, doesn't matter. Right. You're just the people. That's just
what we do.
That's why we exist.
That's why we're built the way we're built, bro.
It's the thing. So,
I like your little tits.
That's what I'm saying. So, the woman at work there, the Catherine Hart, said found it a little bit odd that he was in such a conservative church. She didn't think, she knew about the Amish people, but the work people didn't know that even these people existed in the area, like these churches, and they just didn't realize this was a thing. Yeah. But they said that they knew the church, they knew the county, everybody's pretty religious, but didn't quite know that it was to this extent of that. But, whatever. He was a nice guy to everybody, so they just shrugged their shoulders. That's fine. He was a church elder, Sunday school teacher, like we said. People called him a perfectionist and said that he, quote, wouldn't preach a sermon until every I was dotted and every T was crossed. That was a quote from this book I found. So that's a big thing. He's a real perfectionist. One time, this is a weird thing. One time, a female employee gave him her notice at the office because she was going to another job, and Michael asked her, why she would want to leave a company where her supervisor was a man who had accepted Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior. And she said, I don't know how to fucking answer that. I got another job. Bye. And she left. She was just like, that was super fucking weird.
Say that question again.
What?
Fuck are you talking about, man? 2 weeks. That's what I said.
I don't understand that. Why would you want to? I've accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. Why?
2 weeks, bro.
Wait a second. Wait, you need more money. Wait, but hold on. I get that your kid is sick and you need to pay his bills and you need to make more money, but I've accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. That should do it, right?
Clearly,
your kid feels better now.
Clearly, I'm the boss.
Okay, well, I know your mom needs that operation, but I'll pray for her. I've told you, me and Jesus, like this. I'll pray. You're in. She's fine. You stay here. You make $34K a year. It's fine. Fuck out of here. What's wrong with you? Wow. So this has become, apparently Lancaster County in this area in this era has really become kind of a magnet for people of this ilk, of kind of the just more religious and that want to homeschool. There's a big homeschooling contingency in this county, way more than your average. We'll put it that way. They said that they did a little census of it here, and more than 1,000 families were doing the homeschooling in like 2001. They said that in 2001, 1 in every 10 children were homeschooled in Lancaster County, which is 10%. A lot compared to the just the national average here. And there was at least 17 support groups and co-ops and stuff for homeschooling families, different groups, kids groups, and all, because you have to kind of set up a whole. I would assume, I don't want to say too much because I'm not an expert on homeschooling, but I'm just assuming that if you're homeschooling and you want your kids to have a full experience, you have to set up kind of...
You need others.
You have to set up not only others, all the things that they would encounter in that building, that one place that you just send them to go, you have to piece it all together on your own as far as, different types of socialization and different
boring ass school dance.
Yeah, different stuff like that. Real boring. Yeah, that's all your parents are there. This is great.
We're gonna chaperone the school dance. It's just you.
It's just you. Hold on, wait. There's a family down the street with 3 9-year-olds. They're gonna come too. So it's you at 15 and 3 9-year-olds. You should have stuff in common. Talk about Jesus. So, some people said, one couple that moved there, they moved there from Allentown, and they said in Allentown they had a really, really hard time finding resources for their homeschooled kids, but once they moved to Lancaster County, it was no problem. They said in Lancaster County, homeschooling is so prevalent that we really prayerfully have to decide what homeschool activities to involve our children in. Prayerfully have to decide? The fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
And then said that, she said, quote, it's almost like a mini Bible Belt here. So, this area is a mini Bible Belt. So
9,000 people.
Of 9,000 belters. So, half of them, we should say, 4,500. Because the other 50%, fuck no. So the other 50% are ultra not religious in this town. Like, fuck those people. So a lot of people said that, and that's what they do too. A lot of the times homeschooling, it used to be kind of back in the day, you'd think of homeschooling as like parents who were like, kind of like overeducated parents who were like, there was a professor and they're like, my kid's not getting a good enough education. I'm going to give him. That was kind of I don't think it was ever like that, but that was always kind of the outer like facade of homeschooling. When I was a kid, I always thought of that's what homeschooled.
It's the same way as I see fundamentalism. That's how you see homeschool. Yeah.
Whereas homeschooling though is actually mainly people who want to incorporate religious beliefs into their into the school process. So this is what this is here. They hope that they hope all these kids, one lady says they hope that homeschooling would keep their children from bullying, drugs, and violence that public schools have.
I mean,
if you keep them in the house the whole time.
You get bullied at homeschool. There's
Jesus,
something wrong.
You're really fucking up. Tell your mom your brother's being a dick at that point, right? So one woman said, quote, I struggle with the perception that people homeschool to keep children at home and isolated in a little box. It takes more than that to stick with the fortitude required of homeschooling. It's not like we keep our kids in a little bubble and expect them to marry other homeschoolers. It's not like a little Amish community or something. It's not like that at all. Mm-hmm. So I got to give them their say and whatever. So that's what they're saying here. Now, their child, the Bordens, Kathy and Michael Borden, and we kind of know their history now, and they're willing to, go out on a limb here for their religion. That means a lot to them. So they have their daughter, Kara, is 14 years old in 2005. And she meets a boy and in the kind of homeschool network there. It's one of their their social network, one of the
Facebook group or something.
No, it's where they get the kids together. Yeah, they get the kids together in groups, so they socialize here. And we'll talk about the boy she meets here. Now she has a brother and a sister that we talked about here. She meets David Ludwig, or Ludwig, whatever. He's 18 years old though. That's a problem. She's 14. He's illegal. 18. That's illegal and also creepy.
Right.
Also not cool. It's
very strange.
That's young freshman and old senior. Yeah. Not okay in my book. Yeah, not cool. So the Ludwigs here, his father is his name's Gregory. He's a commercial pilot. So hopefully not for American Airlines.
I fucking hate him.
Because then we'd hate his goddamn guts. Or Southwest. And he's not even really a pilot. He's just a bus driver. Just a bus driver with with more mirrors, I guess.
Basically
so it'd be same shit, and knows how to work some gauges here. And if they work for Southwest, obviously.
If the gauges work. If
they work. That's the thing. Southwest, those planes, really, they're from the 1930s, the ones they're flying. So I don't think there's a lot of gauges. I think there's just like an up lever that you have to push on, and then like a down lever. And then I believe there's some hamsters and wheels running. Southwest planes are so shitty, they have ashtrays welded fucking shut on the armrest still.
And an arm crank for the landing gear.
Exactly. Come on, put it down there, Charlie. And they got a guy in the bottom. I'm working as fast as I can. Still talks like that for some reason. Yeah. Still the original guy. It's fucking terrible.
Oh boy.
Decommissioned Eastern airline planes, it seems like. So
the fuck it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I could have gotten to Nashville from Dallas faster if I rode a Greyhound. Yeah. Not like the bus, like an actual Greyhound.
Like it was on
like
its
an
back.
Actual dog just ridden that.
We'll talk about that in the bonus this week for Stitcher Premium there. We'll get into all that shit here.
What a mess.
What a fucking mess. So Gregory is David's father, commercial pilot, like I said, hopefully for a real airline.
Yeah.
And Jane is his mother, and she's a homemaker and teaches the kids too, and they're all very involved. Different church, but same homeschooling network, but just a different specific church they go to. They don't live right by each other either, so it's a geographic thing for churches as well. So David, he's an 18-year-old. He lives at home. He's into dirt biking. Typical rural Pennsylvania kid. He's into dirt biking, likes to hunt and shit, because they eat like a lot of deer. They hunt and eat deer, the whole family. They live in the fucking woods. I mean, that's what they do. He's trained to be an EMT recently. As I said, this is like Adnan. I mean, it's an 18-year-old kid. Well, Adnan was 17, but whatever. Trained to be an EMT, nice kid, blah, 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 blah. Not quite as smart as Adnan, but religious. I mean, we're talking about like hillbilly Adnan here, like rural Adnan is what it is. So that's interesting to me when the religious thing really caught my eye. And then also her family, it really has parallels in that to me. And then it deviates from it. So he worked at Circuit City also, and that's how you know it's 2005, because Circuit City had employees.
He's almost about to not work there.
Maybe that's what who knows here. He was sitting here around going, fuck man, this
Best Buy is really kicking our ass.
What are you going to do, man? Just trying to put together how to save Circuit City.
There's no more CDs, you guys. I don't know what we're going to do.
This episode's about a man's struggle to save a dying corporate empire. That's what it is. He said his coworkers there said that he was a normal guy, joked around all the time, hung out, would read his Bible during breaks, shit like that. Just kind of the nice dorky Christian kid who's makes jokes and shit like that. Both families, the Bordens and Ludwigs, the people parents are involved in the children's lives. They know what the kids are doing. They do shit with the kids. They're always with them. They're in the house a lot. They know their friends. Everybody's families are intertwined. Now, the Ludwigs are very much into hunting, like I said. Like there's pictures of them. Pictures of them online that they had, because we'll talk about it. David had, it's 2004, 2005. He had all the internet accoutrement of a teenager of 2004, 2005. He had blogs. He had a MySpace page. They had all that shit, So on one of his blogs, he has a bunch of pictures from them saying hunting 2004. And it's, they have dead deer hanging, and then they have all of them all at the table eating dinner together and all that kind of shit. Whatever shit here. There's a blog post here that he posts at one point in his blog, and it's pretty Jesus-y. He's pretty Jesus-y. He says, quote, "Okay, people, here it is. The Zanga," I don't know what that is. Zanga. Something religious, I'm sure. The Zanga or Zanja site for the barn. Capital T, capital B, the barn. For lack of a better name, I think at least for now we shall call it that. If any of you feel any leading at to what we should call, I think leaning as, and he said leading at, to what we should call / name this place, please voice your suggestions. Basically, we are in desperate need of finances and time right now. Although it looks kind of hopeless for a human standpoint, I have faith that God is going to work all this out according to his, all capitals, good pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay? For those of you who have absolutely no idea what the heck I'm talking about, here's the scoop. Basically, about 3 weeks ago, Sam Lohr and myself, David Ludwig, felt led to clean up the upstairs of the Ludwig's, barn to create a place that we could come after our Monday night and Friday night youth meetings or any time to worship and diligently seek God's face. The amazing thing about it is neither Sam or I knew the other was thinking or praying about it till about a week later. Since then, a bunch of us have gotten together twice a week on the barn, and just amazing things have been accomplished. It's truly a miracle. God has enabled far more to be completed than any of us ever imagined. Glory. So now the need is to finish this project, Lord willing, capital, before next Monday. Anyone is willing to come once it's finished. We only ask that you seek God's face before you come see if he wants you to be there. If so, be welcome and come. God bless you all, David.
That's too much.
That's a lot.
How old is that kid?
He's 18 years old.
Oh my God.
That is a lot for 18.
Fuck.
My blog post when I was 18 would have been smoke weed every day. I live in a town called Lititz. Where them titties at? That would have been my 18-year-old blog post at that point.
18-year-old blog. I don't have time for this shit.
Yeah.
That's what I would have written. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to write.
Some shit like that. There would have been like some fucked up rap lyrics and like a, you know what I mean? Like a picture of like fucking Michael Madsen from Reservoir Dogs and Superfly.
Yeah.
That would have been what I would have had. That's my blog post. Check it out.
I don't understand blogs at all. I don't understand the self-importance of it. It's not.
Everyone needs to hear this, even though no one has commissioned me to write this. No one's asked for it or commissioned it.
Nobody's
paying me.
No
one's asking.
No 401k involved.
There you go.
I'm just doing this shit.
There you go.
I've got too much time.
I've got a lot to say,
and everybody wants to know about my fucking Starbucks order.
Everybody needs to know about my ask me about my Starbucks order. Hey, you know what I get? I'll tell you. Well, you got to ask. I ain't going to tell you if you're not going to ask. I'm not going to just tell you. I'm going to bombard you with it.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. Yeah. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. Yeah. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping, you got a car payment due, there's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in SpotMe and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
No, on her, Kara, they both have their own websites too. Because back then that was a big deal to have your own website. It was like all the kids had websites. Yeah, kids used to all have websites back then.
Oh my god!
Because it doesn't cost anything.
It's fucking exhausting.
That was the beginning of GoDaddy, where you could just do it's like $30 for a year of web hosting, and you could.
That's so exhausting.
Cut and paste shit into there. On her website, Kara said that she was interested in a bunch of, she's interested in her church and her youth group and her friends. She posted on Ludwig's page, on David's page here. He said that maybe his hair was too long and he should cut it. And she said, quote, "Yes, your hair is flipping long and I like it."
Oh,
so,
boy.
They're flirting back and forth kind of, but they have some coded language here and there where, it's a lot of private messaging and then some shit that only they know about in public. We'll talk about it here. But David, on his site, he lists his, I think it's his MySpace page, he lists his interests as rock climbing, computers, dirt bikes, and, quote, pulling stupid pranks. So sounds like an 18-year-old kid who lives in rural Pennsylvania, basically. A friend of theirs said, quote, "These are not antisocial kids. These were not uninvolved families. They were normal kids who both actively profess to be Christians." I found her MySpace page, screenshot here of her MySpace page. She was Care Bear 000. I'm sure there was a lot of other Care Bears. Care Kare.
Sure. There's still a million of those.
A lot of those here. There's a picture of herself kind of making like a duck face. She looks like she's a kid. Yeah. She's like 14 years old here. They said that she makes that face because she has braces and she doesn't want to show her braces. That's why she makes the face like that, because she's 14.
Also, that's the face you make when you have braces.
Yeah.
This is how
anyway,
your face forces you to make that stupid face.
Yeah, so she says interests are, quote, Jesus, all caps, double exclamation point. That's number one. Jesus, church, my youth group, other youth groups, family, friends, my doggy, kids, all capital letters, babysitting, soccer, basketball, football, talking on the phone, food, eating, taking pictures, cooking, guitar, the beach, camp, taking walks, riding my bike, just being outside, having parties, capital letters, oh yeah, baby. I don't know what that means. Going to parties, making new friends, helping out, music, DDR. What's DDR?
I don't know. Down to right?
We don't know what that is. All caps, so because there's that, and then it shows how little she is.
That's
too.
A band, DDR.
Maybe, music comedy. So maybe it's a Christian band.
Probably.
There we go.
She could just write fucking. I like to do it. I don't like to sit still.
Yeah, lots of stuff. No, she writes everything she likes. It says likes, and she wrote. Okay. Here's all the stuff I like.
Buckle up, fuckers.
She follows instructions.
She does.
She's told to do shit and she does it. She's
said
fundamentalist, damn it.
Said
MySpace fundamentalist. Likes, here's all of them.
She said food, eating, and cooking.
Yeah.
Just say food.
Food, eating, cooking.
Everything involved with food. We get it. You like to eat it and make it.
And cook it. And eat it, and make it, and have it. But it shows how much of a kid she still is here, because there's all of that, like parties, oh yeah, baby. And then, but she puts in capital letters, candy and push pops. Yeah. Like, she's a kid. She's 14. She likes push pops, for Christ's sake.
You could leave push pops out, because you said candy.
Yeah, well, push pops are ice cream, so what do you want?
Oh, yeah, you're right. What is the other one? What is the
That's
push?
A ring pop.
The push-up pop. Push-up pop.
The push pops, I think they're the ice cream one.
That's the ice cream one,
with the stick in
fucking shitty sherbet.
And then she puts, gross. She puts shopping and hugging on there. So she's a kid. Yeah, that sounds like a 14-year-old. Yeah. Expertise, she says, babysitting, 3 exclamation points. She's a babysitter. Occupation, artist. Industry, art. So there, she joined in 2004. Then she also wrote on it, quote, books are gay, which is the funniest fucking thing.
You had Jesus, exclamation. You don't get to...
Books are gay. You have to understand, too, if you're younger or whatever, gay was used at a different... Okay, in the 50s, gay was used to mean happy.
Right.
Then for like 25 years, it was used to denote homosexual. Not even derogatory, just to say that dude likes to fuck that dude.
Right.
That's what that's called.
Right.
It's called gay. Like, that was all that was. And then there was a period in the 2000s for about 10 years where just everything was just called gay. Like, if something wasn't, like, you didn't like something...
you didn't want to do.
You just didn't want to do. You'd be like, oh, that's gay. I don't want to do that. And like everyone did it. It was when gay people would say it. It was the fucking weirdest thing. Nobody took any offense to it. And then at some point, gay people went, hey, why the fuck is that everything bad? Why does it have to be gay? And then we went, oh yeah, that's not cool. And then people stopped doing it. But at that point, books are gay was just something people would go and go, yeah, books are gay. And they'd fucking keep going. It's weird.
It makes sense because it's something I don't want to do. You know what else I don't want to do? Suck a dick.
Yeah.
You know what else I don't want to do? Gay shit.
Gay shit at all. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe she does. We don't know.
I don't want to read books. I don't want to do gay shit.
They're
true. Both gay to me.
Well, she wasn't sent to the all-girls school, so we don't know what sure.
I'm just saying my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I don't want to read books, and I don't want to do gay shit.
No, I really don't want to do either. I like books. I'm not into the gay shit, but I mean, if you're into it, fucking rock it out.
Go nuts.
I don't care. Go crazy. You suck all the dick you want. So, go nuts, man. So she, lies about her age too. She lists her age at 17 on her MySpace profile, which is interesting because she's 14. So why is she doing that? But I mean, it looks like a kid. Her page is bright pink with little black boxes and all that shit. And she had like rainbows in the background and all that. I mean, she just looked like a little kid made it. She's a kid. Now and you can tell him, he's just kind of a dorky guy too. One of his blog posts here, he talks about on October 24th, 2005, he talks about going to see the new Wallace and Gromit movie. And visiting,
how old was he?
18, visiting a college with his parents.
Why is he seeing that movie?
Well, listen, and he thinks it's like he's like getting away with something too. This is like subversive for him. I swear to Christ. Listen to this quote. I did get to go see Were-Rabbit, the new Wallace and Gromit movie, with a bunch of friends. I enjoyed the movie, even if a bunch of people didn't. LOL, it did have some crude humor. But then he says, hold on, we'll laugh about it in a second because there's more. Then he says, quote, but some of it was real with a bunch of R's, really funny, LOL. And then he has an asterisk, wicked grin. This was pre-emojis on there.
Yeah.
Wicked grin. So he's fucking wicked grinning about all that crude fucking...
all those fart jokes.
All those subversive humor in the Were-Rabbit, you know? Wow. I'm just trying to give you a level of what these kids are about, what we're dealing with. These kids, that's how kind of innocent they are. They post that they go to see this, and they have to be like, I know some people are offended by Wallace and Gromit, but I know it's crude, but it's kind of funny, man. Wicked grin. Like, yeah.
Man, he's going to lose his shit when he sees SpongeBob.
Well, it's 2005. He's seen it.
Maybe he
very
hasn't.
offended.
Yeah,
very offended.
Yeah.
He thinks that
it's not allowed in his house.
He doesn't like the lifestyle that Patrick and he are leading, and he's like, no. So
they were holding hands.
Oh, no. He says, quote, so yes, and now today I shall be doing school, and tomorrow I'm going to visit stupid York Tech School. Compliments of my lovely parents, LOL. But yes, now I must run and do school, so y'all have a good day. God bless. He says that he enjoys on his thing soft air gun wars, like those airsoft guns. Yeah, fucking my friend Rod used to have them. They were great. He'd have them all over the house. You just pick them up and he had targets everywhere. You'd just be walking around, just pick it up and go pop, 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 pop at a target and fucking shoot 10 of those things off. It was so much fun.
Ridiculous.
Giant 12-year-old's house. And he also said he likes airsoft gun wars and, quote, getting into trouble.
Yeah.
So, like a kid. He's got a bunch of pictures and all that sort of shit. Like I said, he's also working as a lifeguard on the side. He trained as an EMT. Everybody said he's kind of a charming dude. He's like kind of a nice, happy-go-lucky, very smiley, likes to make jokes.
Yeah.
Charming kind of cat.
Clean jokes,
no fart humor. And he's got like blonde curly hair. Like he's like a, kind of a handsome-y blonde curly hair kind of guy. I don't know. It's kind of kid I would not have liked in high school whatsoever. Put it that way.
I'd have fucked with him.
Yeah, definitely. I'm like, you fuck. Cause your life is too good.
Yeah.
I can tell you're too happy and not okay.
Yeah.
So, one of his friends said, quote, when I first met him, I thought he was a really, really cool guy. Just said he was a real charming guy. She talked a lot about soccer all the time and bands and getting baptized and all that sort of thing. She'd write like messages on his MySpace wall there and shit like that, but it was all innocuous shit. One thing he said he thought he was looking a little fat on his page, and she said, quote, very skinny, babe, get that through your little head. So that's a little
she threw a babe in there.
A little babe, get that through your little head. Ooh, look at that. She's looking at his another time she asked a mutual friend of hers, so how is school and crap? Mine's really boring and all that. It's typical teen shit. But the problem is there's other shit that you don't see just from their MySpace pages and their Christian-y lives. Everything looks happy, but there's a lot of shit going on under the surface that we don't fucking know about. Like, at one point here, we find out who, old Kara was sneaking out at night through a couple of her friends that she's sending messages to online. She's sneaking out at night to engage in a sexual relationship with David. Whoa. Shit just took a left turn. Yeah. Not okay there. Not cool. We'll put it that way. There's a lot of posts too that are a little bit interesting that are found later on, where they find pictures of Kara in kind of scantily clad shit like that on his computer, shit like that. They said that, not many of their friends really knew this relationship was going on. Only a couple of them, very close friends. It was just, they kind of had to keep it private, you know what I mean? And I mean, it wasn't, like I said, not one of the biggest, not the biggest deal in the world. Kids do this. This is an Adnan and Heyman Lee. The only thing is 14, 18. I don't like that.
That's a problem.
Yeah. They're both really like 7, but they're in physical age, they're 14 and 18, which is not okay. But otherwise, they're not doing anything that's really that crazy. They hang out in the same social group. It's not like he's 25. It's kind of like in high school. That's why high school, like, I'd love it if it was 9th and 10th graders and then 11th and 12th graders somewhere else.
In another building.
In another building. You can't mix 18-year-olds with 14-year-olds. 18-year-old boys and 14-year-old girls, who a lot of times are developed physically, like, you can't let an 18-year-old boy around that girl. I'm sorry. That's fucking dangerous. Like, that kid's no, I don't trust that fucking kid at all. So, they said, we'll talk about this. There's this psychologist that talks about how kids keep lies. That's what they do. They said that, basically that kids keep lies, and until we realize that, no one's ever going to make a dent in fixing kids or helping kids. They just think their parents can't deal with whatever they're doing. They said, this guy talks about every child has a hidden life to some extent. Every kid. It's a part of establishing identity, and you need to have that. You said that the psychologist says, quote, you just hope that whatever secret they keep is benign enough that it's not something hurtful. It's just whatever. They said, but they learn shit. Mom leaves the room to check the laundry. The child feeds a tuna sandwich that he doesn't like to the dog, and mom never knows it.
There you go.
So when the kid figures it out, they go, holy shit, they can't see it in my brain. If I did something, no one saw it, it's in my head, and I get away with it. Like, kids don't realize that at first. You think your parents can see everything when you're 3. They said, it's just that's just what kids do, basically. But their parents were worried. Catherine was starting to worry about Kara being into boys. The mother was worried, Kara's mother. One of their friends said, quote, Catherine was concerned that Kara was boy crazy, like many young teens. She was emailing back and forth, and she poured her heart out to one of her friends. What should I do? What a situation. How to avoid a family tragedy is what the mother was emailing to her friends.
What?
Because her daughter had a boyfriend.
She didn't want her to get pregnant.
I think that's what they were going for there. So
that's a tragedy to her.
That's a tragedy.
That's
that would be
fucking tragedy.
Tragedy. That's a lot to put on that. Maybe that's why they're so secretive about it.
Extra stank on that event, really.
Hey, this is
And you wonder why little girls, when they do get pregnant, are fucking petrified because they think, even if I can get whatever way out of this I want out, if my mom finds out I'm dead, she's going to fucking kill me. Because you know why? Because this is a tragedy.
It's because she thinks of it as literally a fucking tragedy. This is why you tell your kids not to fuck as much as possible and then leave a trail of condoms from the room. Because they're going to fuck eventually and make sure that they don't, make sure that it's safe at least, and they're not. Make sure to avoid a tragedy. We'll put it that way. She said tragedy bag. One of his mother's friends said, quote, that the mother had told her that, quote, she discovered boys and vice versa. She had some boyfriends in the neighborhood, and her parents put the kibosh on that. Okay. So her parents were not having that. They said she was a bubbly, outgoing girl who babysat kids and played soccer and all that shit, and she doesn't need any boyfriends or anything like that at home. Everybody said that the home life with the Bordens seemed just fine. Said everybody gets along, and the kids were social, when they do the groups, and they said that's usually an indication that things are going well at home when the kids are socializing well outside of the home. They said that Catherine was really, she expressed concern about Kara's interest in boys to the church a lot. She would ask for advice from other church members. They said that Kara was allowed to go out unsupervised as long as she was with girls. And literally the other people were like, you shouldn't let her go out unsupervised because even if she goes out with girls, they could find boys.
Yeah.
Like you should keep them, like you should put her in a room with a padlock on the door. Like, sorry. You can't do that.
She can't leave the house and you not know what she's doing. She's clearly going to change her clothes,
obviously,
and go be a wild little whore.
10 minutes later, tragedy. Shit's going to be tragic in 10 minutes.
Unbelievable.
That's what, anybody tells me they're pregnant from now on, I'm going to go, you're all tragicked up? You tragic? Tragedy. I'm sorry. It's a tragedy. They would basically they got to the kids. Kara and David got to know each other better because they couldn't really act like they were that close at the meetings of the kids. So they got to know each other online, private messaging and all that sort of shit. And apparently they'd escalated by the summer to a full-blown physical relationship. She'd sneak out to have sex with him. One of his friends said, quote, he'd park around the corner and she'd come meet him and they'd take it from there. So that's basically what they were doing. They said that David started sneaking into the Bordens' home at night to see her. She'd have him come in the window and that sort of thing. That's my line.
Yeah,
that's
my fucking house.
Well, that's different. Yeah,
I'll fucking kill you.
You keep your dick outside my house. That's a different story.
Keep your dick inside your pants, outside my house.
Outside the house. Yeah, when you're inside the house, dick is inside the pants. That's you can keep inside. When you're outside, do whatever you want with your dick. Just away from her.
Yeah.
So, they were having all sorts of. They're exchanging tons of inappropriate messages and pictures and all sorts of shit like that. They're having a full blown kind of steamy relationship here on their computers, on their phones, because this is right when you could start sending pictures, taking and sending pictures with your phone. That was right in there. And at this point too, these parents they weren't. This was the beginning of any kind of social media and pictures on the phones. Parents weren't even aware. That shit wasn't on their radar.
Right.
Kids at this point could get away with everything.
Oh, Jesus.
Now parents want passwords of their social media, and they have fucking phantom accounts where they stalk their kids and shit like that. I swear to God.
It's true.
They do it. Whereas back then, they didn't even know. They were like, what's MySpace? They had no idea. So, they said that Kara's parents they wanted this shit to be cut off. They didn't want them hanging out. At one point, they even cut off their internet access at their house so that she could not communicate with him. So that's the extent they went.
That's a fucking hard line because you still got homeschool to do.
None of us will have email. Earthlink is offline. It's 2004. I'm sure they had Earthlink.
That's probably it.
So it's not happening. So no one's having it. So yeah, they didn't want them to have a thing. A friend of theirs said the parents were trying to separate the two. The parents just didn't approve of the relationship. And, it's kind of a... They said
how it
that
goes.
Yeah, they said that they pointed out that it was premarital chastity was of extreme importance to them, and they didn't want her to have a tragedy. So in their mind, so a year earlier they were so serious about this. In 2004, Mike Borden, the father here, presented the other daughter, Caitlin, not Kara, Caitlin, with a diamond ring, symbolized that quote he would do everything within his ability to help her stay pure until she was married.
That is disgusting.
You have no business.
No.
You have no business in your daughter's pants, first of all. You have no power of her pants, and you should stay the fuck away from it. There's nothing is within your ability. That's the thing. You're nothing. Unless she's in the living room. Outside of that, it's out of your jurisdiction.
Gonna help you stay pure and give her a diamond ring. So you just essentially married your daughter.
You know how you're gonna stay pure? You gotta stay pure. You're gonna be engaged to your dad. That's how it works.
That ought to do it.
That ought to do it. Someone asked you want to hook up? Be like, nope, already engaged. To who? My pops.
Just twinkle those fingers out.
How that goes. Yeah. Gross. The reverend at the church said, quote, he would do everything he could to keep her pure until she married. Yeah. So
what are you going to do? Just get on your knees and swat dicks all day?
They're way too into their daughter's vaginas. Like, they're way too concerned about their whole life revolves around, who's trying to fuck my daughter right now? Is everybody trying to fuck my daughter? Is everyone trying to, calm the shit down?
He's got charts and graphs of proximity of dick.
God, he does. It's here. See this? Now this, we have a 30-yard... There's 30 yards adjacent to the house. There's 3 different penises. Now we can't have this. Now I'm going to put up some sort of shading system,
like some penis net
blockade
down there on the sidewalk,
a netting system that will stop incoming semen from getting over the wall and causing a tragedy. Now if they use a catapult, no, hold on, wait, I gotta put up defenses. This is getting ridiculous.
My daughter's purity depends on it.
Yeah, they said it was just boys in general, and then David, from the spring to the summer, when he started hooking up with him, his friends, everybody said his behavior started to change a little bit here.
Well, you got pussy.
He's all happy. Oof, this is great.
Fuck yeah, he's going to change. Fuck Jesus.
He's doing a little jig. No, fuck it. Thank you, Jesus. So I found another reason to thank Jesus for this wonderful pussy. That's what he says. That's not me. That's it.
Jesus led me to the pussy.
Oh, Jesus.
It is great in there.
Lord, Lord, Lord. It was at a meeting of his gatherers and a congregation of his supporters.
The only place warmer and more comfortable than a church is a vagina.
Oh, you know it. Well, David had not been so perfect a little before the spring. Late winter of the last year, he disappeared with a girlfriend that he had at the time, who was 16, took her without her parents' knowledge. This wasn't an approved outing, to his family's hunting cabin in another county. Okay.
Fuck shack.
We're not sure exactly what happened, but apparently he brought her back voluntarily, and both the girl's family and the Ludwigs decided to not involve the police and handle it all internally, I'm sure, within the church. Yeah. We'll let Reverend Bob figure out what we should do about this. One of the friends said that the girl was so traumatized she stopped talking for about 2 weeks and never left the house anymore.
What the shit?
We don't know what he did to her. We don't know what happened, but apparently
it was weird.
More happened than she anticipated. Yeah. I'm going to feel like I'm going to call whatever happened there a tragedy. Let's just say that. I'm not sure what it was, but that's a tragedy. If she's traumatized and not talking, that's what you call a tragedy, not just a happy knocking up.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
No talkie.
No talkie.
Wow.
2 weeky. That's a lot.
That's too long.
And they said that David was shaken up as well, and the whole thing was weird. His friends said they were all a little bit disturbed by his actions, like they didn't expect that from him, and it was kind of an unchristian thing to do. Literally, one of his friends said, quote, he kind of lost all the friends he had. Nobody really knew who he was anymore. He went to fuck a girl for 2 weeks. Now, whatever went on with them, that's, I don't know. But from his friend's point of view, what are they judging him for that?
Yeah.
I've known friends who have done horrible things that I don't judge them for. Terrible. Not like, criminal, awful things to women or anything like that, but bad things where I'm like, you'd say, that's a bad thing you did, but that's not my problem. If they didn't hurt anybody.
Bad thing he did, not that I did.
Yeah, it's with it's odd for teenage boys to judge their friend because they went and fucked a girl. Right. If you raped the girl, that'd be different. Then as a teenage boy, you'd be like, hey, well, don't do that. Yeah. Jesus, any age you should know that's not okay. But
what if he talked her into something terrible? You know
that's
what I mean?
Thing. Who knows? Yeah.
Brought it's a hunting cabin. Yeah, he brought down like a moose head off the wall.
Like, come on, honey,
let's involve this shit.
Let's get down on the bearskin. Boy.
Good Lord.
So Kara's friends too said they were kind of a little freaked out by her seeing someone so much older than her. One of her friends told her that she thought things were getting out of hand with David. Another person said, quote, on her wall or whatever, or to a message to her, obviously you don't care enough that David may go to jail. Because statutory rape, because, she's 14. And she said, quote, we are taking care of it. We know what we are going to do. I don't know what that means.
What are you going to do?
We know what we are going to do. And another time she said, you don't know how much we feel about each other and how much we want to be with each other, when somebody else said that he's going to end up in jail for dating her. That's what she said. So you don't know how we
matter.
You don't know how we feel.
It doesn't matter.
I just pictured Karen in Goodfellas. Dad, you don't know how I feel. Dad, don't involve him. The man hasn't been able to digest a decent meal in 6 weeks. Sorry.
It doesn't matter how she feels.
No.
Nor he.
So
there is laws in place. Laws. Is laws?
Lots of laws.
Yeah.
A bunch of them.
You're not allowed.
No.
You're not allowed to feel.
By either the state or the church, for this matter, in this particular case.
It's a tragedy.
So you don't know how they feel about each other. They want to be with each other. And she says, we're taking care of it. We know what we're going to do. So they have a plan. Who knows? Okay. It's all set out. November 12, 2005. For some reason, David asked the webmaster of his skateboarding related blog to block other people from finding it so that nobody can find it by searching for either his name or Kara's name. He said, can you block those two things out of like a search parameter? Okay. Don't know why, but that's what ended up happening. That same day, very same day, November 12th, Kara tells her parents that she's going to have a sleepover at her girlfriend's house. She arrives home at 5:30 in the morning. David drops her off at home. Sneaky down the street.
Right.
She is climbing into her window. Now, this happens a lot. They do this all the time, and they have a system worked out where she gets in and gets settled and sees her parents are still sleeping, and she texts him and tells him, I got in.
Good.
Everything's cool, undetected. It's all good.
Yeah.
And so, that's what he's waiting for. Instead, she pops in the window and there's her fucking mother standing there. Whoa.
Yeah.
Her mother's pissed. Where the fuck were you? You said you were sleeping at your girlfriend's. You're not at your girlfriend's. You're sneaking in the goddamn window.
Right.
Why would you sneak in the window from coming from your girlfriend's? There are a lot of the questions that a parent would ask. She did not have an answer ready. It's 5:30 in the morning and she was not prepared for this.
Didn't have coffee yet.
No, she's she's doing one of those as a kid would do. Well, I was at the thing and the window was stuck and I bought the door.
I've been jizz off her chest.
Forgot the key and oh shit, my leg is wet. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. She's 14. That's not good to say. Let's not do that. So let's not do this. She's 14. I can't even.
It's a tragedy, James.
It's a fucking tragedy. She said that, yes, I was out. She said, I wasn't where I told you. You wouldn't have let me go where I wanted to go. That's why I didn't tell you. So the mother's like, well, fucking obviously. Right. I wouldn't have let you goddamn go where I wanted you to fucking go. So the parents are starting to come down on her, and the whole thing is coming out in the open. And finally, they asked her, were you out seeing that boy and all this type of shit? And she finally just said, yes, I fucking was. Yeah. I was out seeing him. There you go. She's had that kid moment where you're like, I'm in trouble anyway. I don't care anymore. And you start telling him everything you did because it's all going to get lumped into one punishment. So let's get it all out in the open.
Wipes her hand down side of mom's face.
It's like a mob informant. Like they sat somebody down and debriefed them. Tell us everything you've ever done, because if we find out later, then it's going to fuck up your whole deal. So you have to sit down and tell them about all your murders, and they're just like, fine, I did this and I did that and I did this. It's like Stand By Me. He starts telling on himself. So that's what ends up happening. So she says that her parents are obviously a little bit freaked out, even though they kind of knew that was going on here. Just as this argument's happening, she gets text messages.
Oh, no.
So the parents are like, who the fuck is that now at 6 o'clock in the morning texting you, obviously. Anyway.
Remember this?
Yeah. Picture of his cock there. Not good. So the father grabs the phone and reads it, and so he says, it's the David. That's what we thought, obviously. And she said, yes, fine. She tells them that they're in love and they're going to get married. Mm-hmm. She's 14.
No, you're not.
You ain't getting married. You're in ninth grade or whatever the home equivalent of that is. I don't know. So
she might still be in 6th grade.
Yeah, we don't fucking know. Who the hell knows? So obviously the parents have a problem with that.
Yeah.
They start, no, you're not. Oh, what the hell are you talking about? What's wrong with you? And the daughter, Kara's like cursing at them. Oh. And the father's fucking like, oh my God. He's very like, I've never heard cursing in my household. He's freaking the fuck out because you're not allowed to curse.
Yeah.
That's a tragedy.
Absolutely.
A curse is a tragedy.
She has the devil inside her.
Well, she's got something.
Yeah.
And it swims. So at 6 a.m.,
she got a serpent in there for sure.
That's happening. So it's 6 a.m. This is all happening. Okay.
Millions of little serpents.
Tons of them. This is a lot for fucking 6 a.m.
Yeah, to just be woken up to this shit?
Yeah. Ugh. So the father gets on the phone and tells David to get his ass over to the house. I want to have a little talk with you.
Okay.
At 6 a.m.
Oh,
so
boy.
Fucking David shows up.
Yeah. You were just here. Come on back.
And the
kid came back?
He came back.
Oh, boy.
I'd have been like, nah, we'll talk about it tomorrow.
I think we're good now.
I'm cool.
I'm going to let you calm down.
You know what? There's a lot going on. The Eagles game's on in like a few hours. I got a lot of party prep to do. I got a tailgate.
I really got this youth pastor meeting. I really don't have time for it right now.
I mentioned we're cleaning the barn. That we're for meetings.
Could use some funding.
We could, if you want to help out with that, great. Just drop it off though, because I can't make it right now. So David comes over, and now there is contradictory claims here of that when he came over, he had some sort of package in his hand that the father told him to leave outside. Yeah. And if that's true or not, we're not sure. But if he did have something in his hand, he left it on the porch and then went inside. Okay. Some sort of package. We're not sure. So that's we don't know about yet. But I think it might be true, as we'll find out later. It'll make sense later on. But anyway, they get David, and David comes to the front door, and Michael invites him in, and this kid, for some reason, goes inside. I'd be like, let's do it outside. Let's talk on the porch. You like to...
I get this package and stuff.
You're friends with your neighbors, right? Let's talk on the porch. What do you say? Because you don't want...
They could hear and see anything. Any events are open for everybody.
Just where everybody can see and hear... Take pictures, videotape it. You know what I mean? Just right out in the open. Tell you what, let's go to the mall. You like the mall? Let's go to the food court and talk about this.
Yeah, let's sit right in the food court.
Let's just sit right down.
Sit right at the Hattie's Pretzels.
Yeah, right down. We'll have a slice of Sbarro, and we'll fucking get down to business. Let's do this. Jesus, Chick-fil-A samples, and it's on. So,
how do you feel about Cinnabon?
Let's do it. So they sit him down. And they have Michael has about a 45-minute lecture with old David here. Oh. That's a long 45 minutes.
That's a lot of don't fuck my daughter.
Yeah, that's 45 minutes of get your dick away from my daughter is a lot. That's a whole lot. Like, I feel like he was like, because Michael wasn't yelling or screaming, they said too. He was speaking to him logically, and he was saying, this is wrong, and Jesus, and, the Psalms. How are you
going to pay for a kid?
Tragedy, and all that type of shit. Circuit City's going to go under any day now. How it goes.
Out of my child.
Eventually, though, at the end of the whole thing, he forbids David from ever seeing Kara again. Okay. You're never going to see my fucking daughter again. Yeah. Get the fuck out of my house. Yeah. Without the cursing, obviously. He said it, oh, shucks.
Get the fudge out of here.
Get the fudge on out of here, Pally. So he walks David over to the door. Yeah. He says, you're going to take a fucking hike. I never want to see you around my goddamn house again. Yeah. So, and he turns around. Michael turns around to leave, and David's going to walk out the door. As David's walking out the door, he changes his mind quick, reaches into his pants, pulls out a Glock, and shoots old Michael in the back of the head.
Wow.
Back of the head. Single bullet in the back of the head. Done.
But
that was fast.
No, man.
Just decided, you know what? No.
You're not going to get to be with her.
Probably
you know
not
what I
now.
mean? Like, what are you doing? That ain't the way it happens.
No, it's not. Kara's older sister, 15-year-old sister, is also there.
Yeah.
And she is Caitlin, and she sees this whole thing. She runs and hides in the bathroom after she sees this.
God, it happened right in front of her.
It happened. It's fucking Sunday morning in the family and in the household. It's 6 a.m.
6:45.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's quite a lot of action in the house. So all the kids are up, everything like that. She runs in the bathroom. So after that, he walks over and sees Kathy, the mother. She's sitting in a chair by the sofa, and he goes with a blanket over her legs. He goes over and pops a shot into her too and kills her as well.
She didn't hear it?
She heard it, and she was just starting to.
Okay.
It literally was one shot, and then he turned into the next room. She's right there.
Wow.
So she was just like, "What the fuck?" Trying to, start to rise, and he put her right back down into the chair. One shot there. That's the last thing that Caitlin heard. That she saw the father get shot, but then ran into the bathroom and heard the second shot as she was running away. Then while she's in the bathroom, I'm sure scared shitless that he's going to come for her now. Caitlin, all she hears is David walking through the house calling Kara's name. He's just walking through the house calling for Kara, and she's not answering. So he can't find her. So he walks outside. Calmly walks outside, gets in his car, and pulls out of the driveway and starts to drive away. As he does, he sees Kara running behind him, waving him down.
Wait for me.
He stops. She hops in the car.
Wow.
They fucking take off.
Oh, boy.
This shit's gotten crazy. He's in his parents' 1998 red Volkswagen Jetta. At this point, they're in there. She got in there. She later says we wanted to get as far away from as possible and get married and start a new life.
That's not how it works. What are you doing?
How far are you going to go? Pakistan?
Yeah.
Fucking or
Mars?
I didn't mean to put Adnan in it again, but that's it's a far place I can think of. Fucking Siberia? Where are you going?
Also,
Jupiter? Mars?
You just ruined your little sister forever.
I would say. And your brother. Oh, there's a 9-year-old brother, by the way.
He's in the house, too.
He's in the house. He's the one who runs over to the neighbor's house to call 911 after all this happens here. He sneaks out the back door and runs and calls 911. So now both parents are dead. And now there's a lot of orphans on our hands here.
6?
6. Well, 2 of them are like 22 and 25, so they're fine. But I mean, they're sad, I'm sure. Their fucking parents are dead, but still. So she jumps in the car. They take off. And that's that. They're on the road. He was shot in the head, Michael Borden. The medical examiner said it was a distant gunshot wound, meaning that it had been fired from a distance of 3 to 4 feet or greater. So he let him take a couple steps away, thought about it, and popped a shot in the back of his head. It said, no powder wounds, basically. So that's how they knew. They said it was pretty much an immediate death, right into his brain stem, at the base of his skull. That never saw it, never heard it, just walking, and then he was dead in 2 seconds. So, that's if you got to go, that's the best.
It's pretty good.
If I had to die tomorrow and you asked me what my choice was, I'd be like, that sounds pretty decent.
Make it fast.
That sounds fast. If you could hit that spot, that sounds good. But this guy didn't deserve to die, for Christ's sake, obviously. Bullet passed through the brain and exited his forehead.
Wow.
So through the brain stem, out through the forehead. So just tore him apart from the brain stem, out through the brain, and ended up being recovered from a door frame.
Wow.
Yeah, out. Bow. They also they said that he was otherwise a healthy 50-year-old guy. Catherine was shot in the right side of the head, and after the bullet passed through her right hand, she had her hand up, not wanting to be shot.
Kid's
obviously.
a good shot.
Kid's a hunter. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
He hunts like crazy. His family's super into hunting. That's what they.
Do we got a caliber on this weapon?
Yes, we'll talk about that in a minute here.
This sounds like a big handgun.
It is. We'll get to it here. We'll get to all that here. So, they sound that the trajectory path was, from where they thought by the front door. Bullet was removed from her frontal lobe, actually. They, figured out where the shooter was standing from there. The medical examiner said, quote, "The bottom line, this kid was a good shot." That's what he said. He shot him exactly where he wanted to. He said to shoot both people in the head from some distance in a matter of seconds is very difficult to do. Cops almost always miss in a shootout, and this kid didn't miss twice.
Right.
It's true. The training you have to have for that, to do that, it's like combat training.
And
it's
think
fucking
about
hard.
how often cops are trained.
Oh yeah, and this kid,
is outgunning them.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Buddy of mine who was in the Air Force was telling me certain like handgun training they have people running toward you, and they said it's a fucking amazing how while a person's moving, you think you're shooting them and you're not because you're hitting nothing. It's fucking crazy. Yeah. So you really have to have some training in this type of shit.
And when you fire a lot fast, like shooting rapidly,
to go pop and then pop, fast,
you
and
can't do it.
Bang and bang in two spots. Yeah,
like, holding your hands still and firing rapidly is hard enough to hit a target, and to fire, hit, turn,
and especially
fire, hit,
adrenaline going.
Yeah.
Think about this.
Oh, forget it.
He's been yelled at by this guy. Now he's going to murder his fucking girlfriend's parents. This isn't a calm situation. This isn't a video game where you're like, all right, I'll hit that guy and that guy. This is like, okay.
The magazine said I have to do it this way.
Whole life's going to change now. Yeah, the instructions said this. Now they notify his brother Stephen, Michael's brother Stephen, who's the oldest brother in the family here, and he's down in Mississippi still. And they get a message when they get home. They were out of town, and they get home, and obviously the whole family is.
The whole town's a mess.
The whole town, the whole family. Oh, the town is freaked out by this shit too. This is not what happens here. They just and then later on in the day, because they don't know where they are now. The fucking kids are gone. So the police are like, okay, parents are dead, daughter's missing.
Right.
What's going on? That's all they know when they show up. Parents are dead, daughter's missing. Then they hear, okay, the boyfriend shot him.
Right.
They think, too, they're like, did he kidnap Kara?
Right.
Is she against her will? Did she go on purpose? Is she involved in this? They don't know what the fuck's going on. They just know dead people are here. One of her friends, one of Kara's friends, Kayla Jeffries, ends up showing up at the Lititz Borough Police Department. We needed a humor break there. With a cell phone she found on the road. That was Kara's cell phone.
Okay.
She found it on a road that was found on the side of the road that led to the highway. It led to the interstate. And so they called, the person had called her number earlier in the day to see if they could find her because she heard about all this, and no one had answered. It's fucking weird. So then she saw her number on there, and David Ludwig's phone is also ends up being turned in later on.
So he tossed his too.
They tossed their phones. Yeah, they tossed their fucking phones. Now the location of where the phones were found though was helpful in determining what direction they went.
Yeah,
they knew they were going this direction. Right. Okay, that's helpful. So then they ended up getting. They said they need the FBI, so they try to get the FBI in for assistance. They're trying to do kind of an APB on this whole thing here.
Yeah.
They also they were talking because they were saying is that she's kidnapped. She could be headed for another state. That's interstate kidnapping.
Right.
Now the FBI is involved. So where did they go? Well, let's see here. After an Amber Alert was put out,
if you don't know
what an Amber Alert is, by the way, in the U.S. they have an Amber Alert when there's a missing child that's taken by somebody that they think is like actively taken. They put out what's called an Amber Alert, which is like they put out like signs on all the highways and they put out like alerts to people's phones.
Everybody's phone gets a text.
They announce it on the radio and all that there's a missing kid and any details, so everyone could be on the lookout.
Every news channel in the country has it all.
Yeah, and they actually find a lot of kids that way.
It's working.
They actually do. It works better than not doing anything.
Right. It's named after a little girl named Amber who they didn't have it yet, and she disappeared.
Yeah, Amber Hagerman, who's a 9-year-old girl in Texas who was abducted, raped, and murdered by a known child predator in 1996.
And nobody knew where she was because nobody knew she was missing.
Because they had no alert yet.
Right.
And then they got one now. Yeah, they didn't know what to do here exactly. They were thinking that possibly that Kara was either in on this or she might be at risk for harm. Yeah. Maybe he kidnapped her and he's going to hold her hostage. Like, they have no idea what they're going to step into. The chief of police there said, quote, "We believe that Kara was taken against her will, and until I hear otherwise, Kara is a victim, and our main priority is to get her back here with her family." Yeah. So that's what they're thinking now. Now they're saying, if she was in on it, that's the craziest goddamn thing in the fucking world.
Yeah.
That's
grim, Kara.
Yeah, that's grim, Kara. No shit. Never mind, Karen. Step aside, Karen. That's grim, Kara. They said that the coroner said that, quote, "It's completely insane. This isn't Romeo and Juliet. This is far worse than that." Yeah. So I would agree with that.
Yeah, Romeo and Juliet killed them fucking selves.
They didn't do this and then run away. That's what I mean. This is and this is what I was saying with like Adnan. Like this, that case could have gone, I'm not saying that Adnan did that because I have no idea what he did or didn't do, but like like it could have very easily been a case like that where the boy would have killed her parents, or she would have killed this one, or they would have killed each other, or killed one of them would have killed the other one, or it could go either way.
Or she's dead and now he goes off and kills himself. It could have been anything.
Or somebody else killed her and then he got blamed for it and he didn't do it. That happens too. You know what I mean? Who the fuck knows?
That could be a thing too.
That's I'm pretty sure happened at least once.
Yeah.
So
it's happened to a lot of people.
So So there's obviously an alert. Police all across Pennsylvania and Indiana were investigating any reported sightings of any red Volkswagen Jetta they could fucking find. Finally, they receive a report on Monday morning, 24 hours later, of a vehicle matching the description at a truck stop near Fort Wayne. Indiana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say Florida.
No.
They went the wrong way.
No. They went to Indiana that way. They went west. State troopers go there, but the car was gone. Then they end up finding the car. They spot it on I-70 near Belleville, Indiana. So David sees cops behind him and gets off the interstate and leads them on a 5-mile chase with Kara in the front seat. 5-mile chase, speeds of 95 miles an hour.
Good Lord.
Zipping all through shit. And a fucking 98 Jetta is not designed to go 90 miles an hour. I'll tell you that much right now. The piece of shit.
Yeah.
So this is on 2-lane roads too. Yeah. We're talking, this isn't a wide road. This is 2-lane roads. Another car's coming the other direction. When you go around a corner, you take it wide. It's head on. It's fucking dangerous. Not a good place to do this. They said that the state trooper said that he was, quote, very reckless and very dangerous at that point. Finally, they had a blockade with 2 cop cars, head to head that they do. Yeah. So David ended up going off the road into a ditch and hitting a tree. Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
Which is how these end.
You don't go off the road. No, you never do that.
That's how these end.
Unless you got a truck, you dummy.
Unless you have like a souped up Jeep, stay on the road with a 98 Jetta. It's not meant to fucking go mud bogging, you idiot.
Unless that's a lifted Jetta.
No, it's not.
On big wheels and tires with a V8 under the hood.
Ridiculous thing with a Jetta.
Keep that shit on the road.
Jetta body stuck on top of it. Don't do that. Unless it's not a Jetta, basically. So they hit a tree, and David crawls out of the car at that point, and as he crawls out of the car, obviously police are rushing toward him, and as they're rushing toward him, Kara jumps out of the car screaming, "Don't hurt him, don't hurt him."
Oh my God, Kara.
So
you are a dummy.
Yeah, don't hurt him, don't hurt him. He pretty much says right away, "Yeah, I did it. Here's the murder weapon. Here's the gun I used to shoot him. Everything's under the seat. Stuff's in here. I got this, that, and this."
Right.
He gives the whole thing away. His hair, from being long and curly, not long, but like, a little above his shoulders and curly, is now about an inch long.
Oh.
Like he shaved his head. Like he put a number 4 on and just fucking zipped it.
Get rid of this shit.
Get rid of that. So I had
far too obvious.
My bright red car and 14-year-old girlfriend. I don't stand out like a sore thumb or anything, but now my hair's different, so
they'll never find me.
They'll never find me. Safe.
And he hung on. They got rid of phones. Hung on to the murder weapon.
Hung on to that. Told him it's right under the seat. He gets arrested. Obviously, he confesses to the murders right away. Tells police where the guns are. They recover a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson Glock. Yeah, and that's the murder weapon.
Smith & Wesson
the 40
Glock?
cal. Yeah. So why are they saying that? I was going to say that's not a weapon. Those are two brands of a gun.
Yeah.
Those aren't the same thing.
Right.
I saw Glock everywhere else, and then somebody put Smith & Wesson Glock in this article, and they're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
It's a Glock, because I saw a Glock everywhere, and I've seen that only once.
And a 40 cal. That's
40
enough.
cal, though.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good shot here. It's a big gun.
Yeah.
So this is under the driver's seat of the car. They found media reports about the whole thing from that day, clothing, maps, a Colt 45 pistol, a Ruger 45 pistol, and a Ruger Mini 14 rifle.
Why's he got that?
He has all that in the car.
My God.
Kara told them she had not been kidnapped. She went along willingly with David. They also find surveillance along the way after that from stores and shit like that that show that she didn't look like a kidnapped victim. She was walking voluntarily, holding his hand and, walking over to him and hugging him and shit like that. So it didn't seem like she was too against her will. They also find, wrapped in a towel on the porch where he left it, they find another handgun from the Ludwig family gun collection at the Borden home. Okay. So he left that gun there. He forgot the one that the guy told him to put down.
Brought another one.
The gun he had wrapped up in a towel. That's what he had at the door. And the father told him, leave whatever you got, leave that there. I want to talk to you. He didn't know he had a gun in his hand wrapped in a fucking towel. But David forgot about it when he left and just left it there.
Yep. Well, I mean, he was kind of in a rush. He murdered two people.
You know, not really a master criminal. No. Not used to this shit. So they said that Kara will be considered a victim rather than a willing participant and quote, until I hear otherwise. That's what the chief of police says.
She's at minimum an accessory after the fact. What the fuck?
Yeah, she tried to cover it up.
Police, what?
She is 14. After the capture, Kara is returned to her family. They're calling her a victim.
No.
Completely, 100%. She's not under arrest. They're saying they're not closing the door on the possibility that she may have had a role in some of the events that unfolded, but since she's 14 years old, they're not really looking at that. They're more concerned about statutory rape charges for David and all that sort of thing here. The chief of police said about Kara, quote, Kara's upset. She's crying. She's a 14-year-old child, and we seem to forget that. She's devastated.
No, we don't.
Yeah, no, we don't at all. But still, if she was I don't know, I feel like if she was a 14-year-old boy, her ass would be in jail right now.
Yeah, she'd be in a little bit of trouble.
I'm just saying. I feel like if she's a boy, she's in jail. That's all I'm saying. They talk about that David seemed very quiet and to be in a state of shock when he was with the police. All of this shit. He faces his preliminary charges are criminal recklessness and resisting law enforcement in Indiana, and then also, homicide and kidnapping and
straight up murder,
weapons possessions and all sorts of shit like that. The town is fucked up over this.
Oh, yeah.
These religious people did not expect this shit whatsoever. One person here, a woman in town, said, quote, I never dreamt I'd see this come out of families like that. It's just devastating. She said she knew both families very well and thought it was horrible. She was also a homeschooler and her kids were in there and all that. Another person said, what makes this so difficult to understand is that these children were somewhat sheltered from drugs and all of that, and yet they got into this.
What?
Yet they got into that. What? Drugs cause sex? No, horniness causes sex.
Drugs cause murder? No. Teenage rebellion and refusing to listen to the law.
Yeah, this is normal shit that had an abnormal outcome completely.
This has nothing to do. Why would you?
And then they said, quote, it will make us all take a second look. We're just assuming that we're homeschooling our kids and everything's okay. And now they're not all okay.
He was probably on that heroin.
I'm sure he was sticking needles in his arms there. Had to be. It's the only way. Obviously, the parents are freaked out. They're wondering if they're wondering if they know what their kids are doing now. Yeah. They're like, I thought I knew what my kids were doing. Maybe I don't know what my kids are doing. One lady said, quote, it's so frightening. You monitor them, you stay observant, you lead by example. But what if it's not enough? I guess you just never know. And that's the scary part. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kids.
That's being a parent.
That's being a parent.
Right.
All you can do is say, this is what I think you should do. Try to guide them and then go, I hope that shit works. Nope. You know that football game that was a piece of shit that they had in like the 70s? And you'd see it. It's like this big, it's like a football field and it's metal and it vibrates.
Right.
And you turn the little guys on. You can set them up. You can set them up however you want. They're these little plastic guys. And then you turn it on. And the point is that the field vibrates and then the guys are supposed to go in the direction that you put them in. But they don't. They just vibrate around wherever they are because you have no control over it.
It's not you.
You can set them up and you can make that play as perfect as you want. But then when you turn the fucking vibrate on, who knows? That's what kids are.
Hopefully the universe vibrates into success.
That's what kids are. You have no fucking idea which way they're going to vibrate.
That's why it's a tragedy.
Yeah, that's why it's a tragedy. You see 5 kids in a family, 3 kids are great, 1 kid's mediocre, 1 kid's in prison. Or this one, you never know. Who the fuck knows?
So if you've got 6 kids and they're all successful, fucking don't congratulate you. Congratulate the
lucky.
universe.
You're fucking lucky. You got a vibrator. The vibrations have taken you to right place. We just took God and everything else, your own everything out of it and just said, it's the vibration. I don't know. Fuck it. So one of David's friends said, quote, David was slipping in the last couple of months, drawing back from everyone and putting on a facade. Nobody really knew the real David anymore. So now they're all acting like they knew who he was. And before that, they all thought he was a great guy. They did say that this one friend said that he had a particularly startling conversation about 2 days before the murders with David. David said, he said about David, quote, he had been making comments, oh, I could kill someone and get away with it, disappear, and nobody would find me. That's what he said like 2 days before. And he's wrong.
He's wrong.
He's wrong.
Who hasn't said that?
That's what I mean. I could do that shit. Blah blah blah. Yeah, but then 2 days later to actually do it, that's different. Though.
I mean, if you're at church and you're talking about something in the Bible, and then he just turns to you and goes, I could probably kill somebody and get away with it.
I think I could do it.
That might be a cause.
If you were
for pause.
sitting around and it came up in a different conversation, you'd be like, I think I could get away with it. Like, people fuck around like that. So David is extradited from Indiana back to Pennsylvania. He doesn't fight those efforts. He just goes right back. He's held without bail, obviously. Not going to let this guy out at all. Jesus Christ, man. They wrote here, quote, we've been advised by Mr. Ludwig that the behavior, this is what the police said, that the behavior of Kara and himself while on the run will serve to negate the charge of kidnapping and will be directly relevant to the issue of the involvement of the parties in the charges of homicide. In other words, they said, they dropped the kidnapping charge. They said she went voluntarily, no kidnapping, but they also said, quote, this is what her lawyer said, Kara's the family lawyer, quote, if the cops thought she had anything to do with this, she wouldn't be at home watching movies. She would be held in detention. They clear her of all...
Of everything?
They're
out of their fucking minds.
She has everyone feels bad for her.
She skipped over her father's corpse to get in the car.
Nope, victim.
Unbelievable.
Victim, just a victim. That's it.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it's hard to put it on a 14-year-old girl, but you also go, Jesus, that doesn't make you not like a guy anymore?
Your dad's blood is on your shoe.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you had to step over brain matter.
How do you still love that man?
And you left your sister and your 9-year-old brother. I'm sorry, that's just not
There's
cool.
too much. There's too many facts.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. I could see if it led up to that point, and then when it happened, she was like, oh my God, this is bad. But the chase after the car, he was driving down the street. She didn't have to. She didn't. Right. Yeah, it was weird. Her attorney, Robert Beyer, said that he did not expect any charges to be filed against her. She's a young girl who has seen her parents murdered and should not be held to blame. He said, quote, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue with the prosecutor. She's still a victim. We're on the same side. So the prosecutor, everybody says it's just easier to just say that she's a victim.
Wow.
It's just easier for everybody than to prosecute a 14-year-old girl along with this. In Ludwig's own statement, quote, I shot mom as she was sitting in a chair. It was an intentional murder. I intended to shoot them, and I did. That's what they said. And they said, did you take a long time to aim? Because they're just asking him. They want him to go through it. They want to get every fact out. And he says, quote, I did not aim. I have a lot of shooting experience, and I usually hit what I shoot at.
Wow.
He just fucking pop. He just did a quick, reflex. Like he's a fucking,
That's insanity.
That's like, like he's Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. He just whips his fucking 45 out of his belt. Yeah. Not even a holster, just his belt, and pops holes in people's foreheads from a distance. Ridiculous, man.
He had the word Glock imprinted on his fucking pelvis because he doesn't even have a holster at all.
Just in his back there. So they search David's shit. In his laptop, they find images of Kara in, quote, various stages of undress.
Yeah, that's kiddie porn.
That's bad.
Yeah.
They also find an even more, something worse, an 18-minute video that they, not of sex, no sex, that they got from the laptop. In it, it's David and his friend, a guy named Samuel Lahr, who are both armed with rifles and dressed in all black.
Yeah.
And they said they're conducting what they call a, quote, night patrol, in which they stand outside of a house and discuss killing the family members inside the house.
Good Lord.
That's what they do. They dress in black, stand outside someone's house with weapons, and discuss killing everybody, and then go home.
Ooh.
Just to show that they can. It's just like, look at the power we have.
Being silly.
We're standing outside. I have rifle. You have. We're all dressed in black. We go in there and kill everybody. Let's go home. Like these kids
this was such a fun night.
These kids need weed. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was smoking weed. Yeah. That's what I had to do. I was like, I don't have time for all that shit because I'm going to go roll a blunt and hotbox it over there in that apartment complex parking lot.
He's putting off cleaning the barn to go do this.
Shit. Yeah.
This is weird.
The video also showed Ludwig and his friend talking about, quote, Ludwig's intimate relationship with Kara Borden before deciding to go on night patrol here. They also discussed having sex with her other sister, with Kara and her sister together, two underage girls.
A foursome.
But that he said that the sex would constitute statutory rape, and he might have to kill someone if they ever found out about it.
The 9-year-old?
I don't understand. No. There's a discrepancy whether her sister is 15 or 13.
Okay.
She's 14, and we don't know whether her sister's a year older or a year younger. He's saying in this that she's a year younger, so I'm going to go with that. Okay. But the media reported a year older, a bunch of them. It's a conflicting thing. I'm going to say she's 13. He's saying 14's one thing, but 13,
Jesus, man,
that's a bridge too far. Sorry. So from the parents' home, the Ludwig home, they find a total of 54 guns, which is too many guns.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that's a lot of guns. I know people, you like your guns, whatever. You don't need 54. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah,
if you got 54, that's too many.
Unless you got 54 people living in the house.
54 people, fine.
Too many.
But they got 5 people. That's 10 guns a person.
That's a lot.
You don't have that many arms or legs. Like one gun, one trigger per finger. I don't know if that's no good. Yeah, they said they recovered. They also ended up finding a bunker in their basement. They went in. They had to force open the locked door to the hobby room.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the gun collection was, the 54 guns. Then they found a door that led downstairs to a sub-level basement that had a 12 by 12 cement block bunker with alternate light sources, food rations, first aid kits, and they have a survival bunker under here. They're like weird survivalists, like I'm going to hide in my basement but not tell any of my friends about it because they'll come for my food bunker. Weird.
They're not going to get in because I have 54 fucking guns.
Yeah, unless they're the SWAT team with a fucking... they'll take your goddamn door down at that point. That's why they have guns. They're literally hunkering down, waiting for society to end so they can have their arsenal and their bunker and
they'll be fine.
Shoot all their neighbors as they come. Cots, food, sandbags. They called it a survivalist apocalyptic mentality.
Wow.
This whole thing is
they
what
all
they did.
have that. The Ludwigs.
The Ludwig house has this. It's a big giant 12 by 12. Their game room is 8 by 10. Their bunker is 12 by 12. Put it that way. More important than a place to actually hang out while the world is going on.
Right.
They're more concerned with what's going to happen afterwards.
I will take care of me and mine.
Yeah, dude, this is fucking crazy. So, more people here. They appoint a court guardian as a guardian for Kara. Family friends said that the kids are all going to be cared for by a relative. I assume maybe one of the older brothers or an aunt or an uncle or something. They said that the older brother is standing behind Kara and does not believe that she had anything to do with the murders. He says, quote, people who know her know that that's just not possible. They said that not at all. They're both from nice families. So what can you say? Sometimes people just go haywire, but not Kara. She's fine. Not her. At the funeral, she's at the funeral. Yeah. Going around 400 people at the funeral.
Wow.
Big funeral. She said she went around. They called her composed and even smiling. She was hugging her friends and family and all that type of thing. Her friends said she could be angry in a couple weeks, but for now, I think she's avoiding it. She also had something to do with it. So, I don't know. So 2006 here, before he's even at trial, he receives his high school diploma in school, in jail.
Wow.
Good for you. Gets that. And his parents go there that's something our kid was going to graduate. We were taking him to see colleges, but now we're going to the jail so he can get his certificate. This is going to be an honorable day. Did you get the do you have the camera? We really want to document this for the photo album. Jesus Christ. Wow.
Mom brought it to him because she's his principal.
Yeah, that's how I got to bring this to you. His lawyer said about him, quote, he is not inherently evil. He is not inherently bad. David Ludwig is just a very troubled young man. That's one way of putting it.
The man shot a man in the back of the fucking head because he wouldn't let him fuck his 14-year-old daughter. That's an evil dude.
And then shot a woman who was just sitting there, sitting there.
With a hand in front of her face in a defensive position. He shot a woman in the fucking face.
That's disturbing.
He's inherently evil.
He's an inherently bad motherfucker. Yeah. The state agrees, and they're going to seek the death penalty for it. So they agree. We think he's kind of a dick, actually, and we're going to tell you what. This is how much of a dick we think he is. So his attorney is concerned about the effects of his attorney said that David, all he's concerned about is the effect of that the trial is going to have on the community with the family and the churches, and it's going to hurt his church. Sure. It's going to make them all look like weirdos, and he doesn't like that. His lawyer also said that David's been tutoring other prison inmates. He's been tutoring them, and he's a pretty blonde kid. I'm sure he's been tutoring a lot.
He's 18. What's he tutoring?
I don't know what the fuck.
He doesn't know shit.
He's going around telling everybody about Jesus, and they're like, "Oh, Jesus! Can we stab the Jesus guy? Is that bad karma?" I guess not. not fucking.
Jesus, it's enough of the Jesus.
Enough. Then the lawyer has the balls to say, quote, he retains the potential to do much good in an institutional setting. So don't give him the death penalty. Well, David is apparently afraid of the death penalty and does not want any fucking part of it because he takes a plea.
Yeah.
He does no part of trial. And he also says it's because he doesn't want to put the family and the and the community and the church through this. And Kara, obviously. He pleads guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder. This is to avoid the death penalty, obviously. Also pleads guilty to charges of reckless endangerment, statutory sexual assault, and carrying a firearm without a license. These are all no kidnapping, if you notice. That is not in there. Sentencing comes around, because this is when they plea, then the sentencing comes right away from the judge, because there's no jury, obviously. Sentencing, the Judge David Ashworth, has something to say to him, though. Yeah. This is good stuff. He says, and I quote, by your useless and selfish acts, you destroyed and permanently altered the lives of countless people. You, sir, may fuck off. Life, 2 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 9.5 to 19 years on top of that for the firearm without a license and the sexual assault. Yeah. Stack those on top of it.
Good.
That's not concurrent. Those are consecutive. Sir. You got shit. So 2 consecutive life terms, no parole. Okay. As an 18-year-old kid, 19 at this point.
Unbelievable. That's all over.
Fucked. Yeah, that's a lot of time in the can there. He appeals this, obviously. He appeals, but he pled. So his appeals are real limited. It's real limited what you can appeal on when you plea. Right. You can basically say your counsel didn't tell you what you were pleading to, and if a law has changed from the time you pled to now, you can put that in. Otherwise, that's all you got. Oogats. Exactly. You pled, motherfucker. Tough shit. So he appeals. He's trying to appeal the sentences. First, he points to ineffective assistance of counsel for the previous lawyer, because it's just that you have to. Right. There's nothing else you can say. And then he's trying to void his convictions in life terms. Basically, he's trying to expand the scope of a 2012 U.S. Supreme Court ruling that made it unconstitutional to impose a mandatory life prison term for a murderer who is under 18 years old, who is younger than 18. He was 18. Right. He's trying to expand that to 18 and younger. Is what he's trying to do. Literally trying to say that's what they meant in the Supreme Court.
18 and under.
It's weird. Supreme Court's usually real specific about what they mean. Like they have a long thing and they each write a big thing about it. Right. They're real specific.
The other part is that every law, if it states an age,
that's the age.
It's usually there and over.
That's
like
the one.
A fishing license.
Hey,
anybody 10 and over has to have a license.
That's it.
9 and under, no license.
18 and over, fuck you.
Yeah.
Under 18, you're fine.
Yeah.
So, he apparently a bunch of people were trying to appeal this in federal court because I guess there was a federal ruling in another case, a Miller versus Alabama, that extended it to murderers who were in their 20s when they killed, but all these keep getting shot down by the Supreme Court because it's not the fucking law. Right. They said it very specifically, under 18. They said that Ludwig's argument is that mandatory life sentences shouldn't be imposed on murderers as old as 24. It should be 25 and older. Jesus. You get life without the possibility.
End up at like 42
under 25, you shouldn't get it, he's saying there. Now, he says, this is what the judge says, by the way, and this is pretty impressive. Quote, perhaps the United States Supreme Court may in the future determine that mandatory life imprisonment sentences for adults under 25 violate the U.S. Constitution based on ever-evolving standards of decency, but that day has not come yet. Fuck off back to jail with you, Curly. And
that day's not here yet.
That day ain't today, Chief. So back to your cell with you for about another fucking 60, 70 years. Enjoy, asshole.
Enjoy your ramen.
That's it. So he's there. He's in jail still. Yeah. Nothing he can do about it. He's
Nothing
fucked.
For her?
Nothing for her. She's fine.
That's it.
That's it for Kara.
Oh, my God.
Kara went and she was sad at the funeral and then went with some
She wasn't even sad at the funeral. She was smiling.
She's 29, 30 years old now.
Oh, my God.
She's, who knows, probably put this all behind her. I don't know.
I cannot believe this.
I don't know. I mean, either she is completely mentally scarred and fucked over this or she was like an evil person that got away. We don't know. There's no way of knowing what her level of knowing
I'm just saying,
is.
in terms of legality, it seems like they really dropped the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Seems like she should have got some punishment.
There should have been something. I feel like, but just the fact that she
you
went
come
with
out of the
them,
room,
she's 14.
He's flying down the road. Grab the fucking phone.
Yeah, in every other case, if they really held the fact that she was 14 up like she was 7.
Yeah.
Whereas if they wanted to make it, it's funny because they can turn a teenage kid either way. If they want to act like they're young, then you can be like they're just a delicate child. But if they killed a person and you want to act like they're a monster, you can say at 14 they should get the death penalty because they had the wherewithal to pull the trigger. They know. So it's like people go either way on that shit. And with that, they just went like, she's a poor girl. She's 7. He manipulated her and had sex with her and all that shit. I don't know what it was. I feel like, I don't know if it was I'm sure that the community not wanting a lot of this shit to come out was part of it. I don't even know, man. I don't know how much. That's why I thought was a good small town murder, because I feel like the town has a lot to do with this. The county, the town. I feel like the fact that everybody knows each other and it's all a big kind of this community, and they all have these big groups that can put pressure on people that are run for public office, like prosecutors.
Somebody knows something about somebody's foreskin.
Dude, it's what I mean. Like, who the fuck knows what?
This is crazy.
I feel like if
in a big city,
if this happens in Brooklyn, she's going to jail.
Yeah,
like, sorry,
for sure.
And if this happens,
why didn't you call the cops?
If this happens on the west side of Phoenix, that girl's in jail. Her picture's on the news, and they're like, well, she's going to fucking jail now, and as an accomplice to her fucking 18-year-old boyfriend, and they'll go, oh, I'm sure she got drug into it by her 18-year-old boyfriend.
She'll get 5-10 years and be out.
She could have called the cops. Yeah, they'll put her accessory after the fact or some shit like that, and even fucking just a suspended sentence. Even they'll put something on her to have something on her record.
She had to know the dude had guns there at his disposal in the vehicle.
Yeah, it's just so weird.
Because he was in his car, he left, and Pops had him come right back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he didn't go home and get guns, right?
That's the thing. We don't think he could have gotten. He might have had him in the car, or that's what I mean. We don't know. Or he was home and he came back real fast. We don't fucking know. But what we do know is 2 people died and one person was held responsible, and the whole thing's a goddamn mess.
Yeah.
Well, if you like that story, crazy shit, please get on Apple Podcast, iTunes, whatever the hell it is, the purple icon. Give us 5 stars. It really helps drive us up the charts, I'm telling you right now. So if you want to do anything for the show that's simple, easy, and free, give us 5 stars. Like we say, doesn't matter what you're saying. It's not for our ego. Just
say little tits.
Say whatever you want. But don't leave out the L, so they'll actually put it on there. Put Pennsylvania also, so that's clear. Please do that, though. That really, really does help us out. And really, if you listen on any other platform, you don't have access to iTunes, rate and review on whatever platform you're listening to, because
if it allows
helps
it,
always.
Do it.
If you can do it, do it. It helps us out a lot. Otherwise, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your merchandising needs, leggings and skateboards now up, all sorts of T-shirts. And also, what you're going to see on there very soon is an announcement of a whole slew of live shows till the end of the year. And some of these live shows tend to sell out a little faster than others, depending on the city.
And some of the venues are smaller.
And some of the venues are smaller, so that's the thing. And we're going to places we've never been before. We're going to a lot of places we have been also. We're going to go to, a lot of the ones, your Atlantas and Portland, and we'll find all you guys. Don't worry. We'll be to Chicago. Yeah. But we're also hitting up St. Louis and Milwaukee and Des Moines and Pittsburgh and Tampa and places like that we've never, Salt Lake, places we've never been before. Yeah. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And like Nashville, this last live show, we put the tickets on sale on a Friday. We didn't. The venue put them on sale on a Friday, which was the day after this show, so we couldn't announce it on the show. We announced it on social media, and by the time we got to announce it on the show on Thursday, the tickets were just about sold out, and they were gone by the end of Thursday. So if anyone listened to that next show a day late and they wanted tickets, they couldn't get them. They never even knew they existed, and they were already sold out. Right. So please follow us on social media. We really don't bother you with a bunch of shit. We don't put ads up. We retweet if somebody does the Shut Up and Give Me Murder challenge, which is the people's hashtag that when they yell "shut up and give me murder" and video themselves doing it and post it to our social media.
So funny.
We retweet those because they're hilarious and shit like that. But otherwise, we don't bother you with a bunch of stuff. We post episodes. Right. So follow us. It's at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, and at Small Town Murder on Instagram. Yeah. So check all of those and find us in all those different places. And also, God, if you want to be an even bigger hero to the show, these people truly are they're heroes. They keep the show viable, and they're God damn it, they're our favorite people in the world. If you want
saved my life.
You've saved our lives multiple times, guy. Yeah, saved his life in Dallas there, stuck there. You can be one of those people, one of our producers. You can donate to the show by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports or heading over to PayPal, and you can use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com.
Right.
And you can find both those links right from shutupandgivememurder.com. And on top of that, too, just do that. Also, you can use our email address there if you want to send us an email.
Sure.
That's that. So with all that said, I think it's time, Jimmy. This is our favorite part of the week. Let's do the shout outs. Tell me all the people who have been so wonderful to us and would never, ever shoot their girlfriend's father in the back of the head this week. Hit me with them now, Jimmy.
This week's executive producers are Desra and Dahlia Howard. That's Gary's wife and daughter.
Wow.
They have the same birthday. How fucking bizarre is that? How do you
wife and daughter?
Yeah.
That's super weird.
I don't think I've ever heard of that before.
Sarah, my wife, and her sister have the same birthday.
Your wife and your sister.
Yeah. No, my wife and her sister have the same birthday, but they're not twins.
All that means is
that's
that
weird.
All that means is that her dad's birthday is 9 months before.
Yeah, well, not really, but still, yeah, that's when he likes to get it on.
Yeah, and not anal. Well, maybe.
I go back and forth.
I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what they're doing. Let's not judge people.
Penny Coleman, Pow Comer. That was
wow.
I think it's somebody. I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Because I just wrote that down, and I don't remember why I wrote that.
I just wrote that,
but I wrote that down, and I think it was a dude's dad or his grandfather.
Sometimes I write words.
Sometimes and Pawpaw.
Well, thank you, Pawpaw. We appreciate it.
So Pawpaw was either sick or he listens or something special happens with Pawpaw, and Comer was very happy about it and wanted me to write that down.
Well, thank you.
So I did. Executive producers this week, I said Desra and Dahlia, Gary's wife and daughter, Brittany Weaver, Ryan Hatcher, Brittany Burke, Ben Story, Amy Spicer, Reagan Shalkley, who she came to the show in Nashville.
Cool. Nice
Stephen Tucker, Jessica and Adrian Adams, Jordan Bennett, who also came to the show.
Yeah.
She was from fucking
Canada. They came from Canada. Her husband down from Canada. Thank you so much, guys. He's a cool dude, too.
He is.
You guys are both great.
Michelle Gilbert. I think this is Ruby Volpini. I think I wrote Ruby, but it may say Roby or Raby or... I think it's Ruby. I think that's more of a person's name, but I'm probably wrong either way.
Makes more sense,
right?
But who knows?
And Marie Rogers, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Happy birthday, yay! Because people pulled some money together to get Sarah something nice. So thank you guys
really
very,
nice.
very
Thank
much.
You so much.
Lainey Eagle, Justin Miller, Ashley Vio, Kayla Innes, Thomas Smith, Rob Roberts, Lauren Moxley, Melissa Williams, Callie Shinkunis, Dana. What did I do? Bartram? Yeah, Bartram. Jessica Fiddock, Ryan Polina, Amy, no, what is that? Damn it, Demi Saldivac? Yes, I think. God, Saldivar, that's right. John Retta, Jesse Pitts, Hannah Ho, or Huff, I think Doug Larson, Jessica Leitke, Michael Scott. That's actually his name. It's not the guy from The Office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pammy B, Cynthia Lapham, Lanny Blunk, Rick Sikorsky, Mitchell Trapp, Humphrey. It's Mitchell Trapp and Humphrey the Cowardly Corgi. You know what corgis are? They're fucking adorable dogs.
Yeah, they're cute. Cute little fuckers.
They got tiny little legs. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Mariah Hardiman.
Welcome to Dog Corner. Small Town Mirror. Every episode at the end, we have Dog Corner.
I really love a corgi.
We discuss a different breed and its leg sizes and its veritable levels of cuteness.
Aaron Ishik, James Martyr. No, James M. Hooper. That's what that is. Rosalda Aulos, I think. Avalos. That's what that is. Kent Messmaker. Julie Sutton, Ashley Lewis, James Martyr, Austin Fowler, Ben Mescal, Robin Durbin, Allison Morris, Kath Leader. Yeah. Casey Huffman, Janice Hill, Riz. There's no last name, but Riz. What's a cool name?
From Greece?
Yeah. Was that Rizzo? No.
Yeah, but they called her Rizzo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Darren Mihal, he was the one that came with Jessica from Florida. He was on crutches and shit. That's the couple that we made. That's interesting.
Hey, thank you.
Megan Tolman, Jeffrey Lee, Brendan Abels, Margie Kunze, Peter Vichet Banda. I don't know.
Cool goddamn person.
Yeah,
you know that.
Anna Matuzowitz, Kathy Stevens, Heather Dujakovic. Djokovic. Djokovic. That's what
I love
it is.
Jimmy.
Jesse Hartman.
Way to fucking come through in the clutch, baby.
Really stuck with that one. Brett Kolb. Damn it, Leslie. That's what. See, God damn it. I mix words together because I'm trying to get to the next one, and I'm reading this one and then trying to pronounce the next one.
Wonderful.
Jen Stevens, Paul Ruest. That's it.
Hey.
So he got his FAA license, and he can't wait to tell you about.
That's awesome, man.
New business.
Good
the one
him.
that you told him was an 8-year-old's job, flying drones and shit and taking pictures.
Oh yeah.
It's like a dream job.
Yeah,
it's fucking amazing.
You're playing video games. It's amazing.
Sarah Gray, Eric Langenecker, Caitlin Nutt, Maggie Perchin, Clay Thorson, Philip Chavis, Amber Weary, Tyler Gwill, Katie Heisel. That's Katie.
We know Katie. Thanks, Katie.
Corey McNeil, Danielle Kavanagh. God damn it. Christopher Balco, Keisha Newton, Molly McCarthy, Jim White, Tanner Rodriguez, Martina Kunkel, Sean Burkett, Kyle King, Lauren Kunkeli, Louise Rayfield, Dave Anderson, Margaret Bounds-Savvy, Stephen Rude, Timothy Smith, James Fraker, Lauren Sanford, Mike Kennedy, Vincent Walker, happy birthday, Neil Campbell, Rachel Stora, and Homestretch. Here we go. Eric Berry, Melissa Silsby. Damn it, I was going to go fast and I fucking ruined it already. Daisy Alexander, why can't I say that?
I don't
know. No first name, no last, just MJ. Chris Battaglia, Casey Shatters, Rick Freeman, L. Michelle Leatherman.
Oh,
God damn
nice.
it. Esme Squires. Esme? ESME. How do you say that? Esme? It's me, Squires.
It's me, Squires.
It's me, Squires.
It's me. My name is Squires.
FML, it's Frank. Thorsten Gross. Jane Major. Yeah. Jane Major. Brooke Reeves. Park Gary. Kelly Walsh. Bree Renew. Yeah, I think that's right. Kathy Stearns, Desiree Brown, Morgan Haynes Mannion, Whitney Horn, Tony DeMartino, Rachel Cornelio, Stephen. How do you do this? How do you do this? Show after show.
Just read. I read and stuff, and there's words.
Yeah. How do you pronounce shit?
That's the tough one.
Stephanie Burrows, Lindy Simmons, Kay Holcomb.
Names are hard, dude.
It is,
because they're not normal words that you see every day. It's not like
Alyssa Sylvester, Tara Rosowitz.
You don't see Rosowitz every day. It's not a type of bread that you see on the shelf, and you're like, oh, it's Rosowitz bread. Yeah, I know that one.
Amanda
it's an easy
Claire.
name.
Bad Fish Squish, Joe Pezzi, Ian Long, Nina Jorenstad, Lindsay Trotter, Adrian Love, Colin O'Toole, Sarah with no last name, Randy Thompson, Kevin Gatesy. See, that's what I mean.
It happens. And your handwriting sucks too, which is another issue.
It does. Laura Yarnell, K with no last name or first name. It's just the letter K. Right. Justin Sar Alex and Ryan Matheson.
Wow.
God damn it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for ruining my life.
You're making it better and then destroying it. Making it better to destroy it.
You give me hope that everything will be fine.
You might be able to read
as long
someday.
as I can say this shit.
Well, thank you guys so much for everything you do for us, and thank you for that, and thank you for joining us this week. What if they want to thank you, Jimmy? Where could they find you out there in the world?
You can personally tell me that I'm an asshole at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks. I try my best to get back to you guys. I'm not always good at it, but I do my best, and I can guarantee you that. Where can they find you doing your best?
You can find me at Jimmy P is Funny, or just copy and paste my last name from the show description, because you're not going to be able to spell it. Right. So don't bang your head against the wall. Just copy and paste it, and save us all a lot of trouble. And until then, guys, please keep joining us every week, live from Lititz, Pennsylvania, everybody. Until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.